Hey there, want to make your voice heard at a Board of Supervisors meeting? We're all ears. Here's how you can get involved. First, hop online and look at the agendas. This will give you the scoop on what's coming up before the board. Each agenda item includes a brief description of the issue, the recommendations, and potential impacts. If you need more detail, check out the detailed reports online. Those are called board letters. Then, decide if you want to speak at Tuesday's general legislative session or Wednesday's land use session. You'll have 3 opportunities to have your say. Let's start with non-agenda public comment. This is your chance to talk about things that aren't on the agenda, but try and keep your topic related to county government. For non-agenda public comments, you can speak at either the Tuesday or Wednesday session, but not both. So, pick your day accordingly. And keep in mind, the board can't act on the spot. They'll refer your comments to the Chief Administrative Officer, who will look into the issue. Last thing, the board will hear from the first 10 speakers, 5 in person and 5 by phone at the beginning of the session. Then all the remaining speakers will get their chance to speak after the discussion items. During the consent agenda, the board handles a bunch of routine items with 1 vote. If you want to comment on an item, keep it simple. For example, I'm John Doe speaking on item 5, and I agree with approving the contract. Discussion items are the main event where the board debates before making a decision. Want to speak at one of the meetings? It's really easy. Just hop online and fill out a quick request form at publiccomment.sandiegocounty.gov. Pick the meeting you're interested in, hit the register button, then fill in your details. Make sure to include a phone number if you plan on speaking by phone. Prefer speaking at the podium in the board chamber? No problem. Just pick the in-person option. After that, just check off the agenda items you want to talk about and let them know you're for, against, or neutral on them. Hit register and you're good to go. A confirmation email will land in your inbox to wrap it up. If you're speaking by phone, the email will include the instructions for how to dial in. Be sure to submit your request early. Once public comment begins on the agenda item, we can't take any more requests to speak. And if you have documents, hand them to the deputy clerk when it's your turn to speak at the podium. Now, you get 2 minutes to speak, but if lots of people want to talk, it might get cut to 1 minute. So, you might want to consider writing 2 sets of comments, one for 2 minutes, another one for 1. That way, if time's cut, you won't be scrambling. There's also a countdown clock at the podium to keep you on track. Once you're at the podium, stay on topic. Stick to the current agenda item. If you stray off topic, you might get a gentle nudge to get back to the point. Keep your comments related to the agenda item's recommendations because that's what the board is relying on to make a decision. Also, speak directly to the board. They're the ones making the decision. When your time's up, it's up. Overstaying might mean getting muted or even asked to leave. Now for some ground rules. For safety, keep aisles and doorways clear. If there isn't a seat, head across the hall to room 302 or the 4th floor balcony to watch the meeting. Respect is huge. Everyone should feel heard. That means you, other speakers, and the Board of Supervisors. Disruptive behavior gets 1 warning, and after that, a deputy sheriff might show you the door. So let's keep it respectful. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Remember, we're all here to make a difference.
Welcome. Everybody, please take a seat. It is time to begin this meeting. If everyone could please take a seat. Okay. Good morning. If everyone please take a seat. Okay, thank you all very much. I would now like to call the November 18th, 2025 San Diego County Board of Supervisors regular meeting and Sanitation District meeting to order. We will take a moment to acknowledge the land that we call home. There are communities in the San Diego region that face unjust conditions and circumstances related to the environments in which they live. The tribal nations of the San Diego region are an example of one community that has historically faced such injustices. We acknowledge the harmony that existed between the land, nature, and its original peoples who have since endured displacement, persecution, and systemic oppression. We pay our respect to the unceded territory and homelands of the 18 tribal nations in our region, the most in any county in the United States, from 4 cultural groups: the Kumeyaay Digueño, the Luiseño, the Cupeño, and the Kawaii. We aspire to learn from Indigenous traditional knowledge and experiences in undoing the injustices of the past. Andrew, please call the roll for today's session.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. Supervisor Anderson.
Here.
Supervisor Desmond.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Aguirre.
Here.
Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
Here.
And Chair Lawson-Remer.
Here. Okay, we now have Reverend Diego Salazar Galvez to deliver the invocation and Perla Hurtado to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Good morning. Chair Lawson Rimmer, supervisors and inhabitants of San Diego. Thank you for the invitation to lead the invocation today on behalf of University Christian Church in Hillcrest. Please take a moment to breathe with me and find grounding. Take several deep breaths, letting your body and your mind know that you're standing in a sacred land and a space of community. Allow yourself to be present. Keep steady and constant breathing. Take a deep breath. Inhale, hold it, and exhale. So let us pray. Loving Creator, Great Spirit, Source that connects everyone who's not by many names, we give thanks for your presence with Him around us. We are grateful for those gathered here today. Grant them wisdom, courage, and grace to seek unity even in disagreement. We bring the richness of multiple voices. We build bridges of understanding and respect. There is not exclusion. Let us open the doors for belonging. Guide us to create spaces where all people feel value, where we embrace dignity and defend it. Let us be those who bring justice, peace, cooperation, and united by common hope and harmony. Divine Spirit of all nations, source of unity and diversity, we come before you with grateful hearts for the tapestry of cultures, languages, and traditions that enriches our human experience. Let us walk in hope, justice, and unity. We take a deep breath and we say, Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We now proceed with the proclamations. The first proclamation will be given by myself, honoring triathlon champion Jaden Greenwood. Accepting the proclamation will be Jaden Greenwood. Good morning. So in the past few meetings, we've celebrated some incredible athletes from across San Diego County. But turns out one of the best has been here in this building the whole time. So today we're honoring Jaden Greenwood, an intern in my office and a California State triathlon champion. She entered the Mission Bay Triathlon in October, her first triathlon ever, I think, since she started training. It was not a small lift, an extremely long swim, a very tough bike course, and a 9-kilometer run to finish it all out. After more than 2 hours of pushing through every leg of the race, she came out on top in her age group and earned a spot at the 2026 National Championships in Milwaukee. And she's doing all of this while juggling what most people would consider 3 separate full-time lives. She's training for her triathlons and marathons, serving the public as an intern in our office, and working toward her master's degree at USD School of Law. So, as a woman in endurance sports myself, I also want to name something that often goes unsaid. Women athletes are often pushing through expectations on the course, in the workplace, and in every part of our lives. Jaden shows what it looks like to meet those expectations head on and then raise the bar even higher. She brings that same focus and grit into her work with us every single day, and our community is so much the better for it. So today, it's an honor to celebrate both the athlete she is and the leader she's becoming. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by myself and all members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 18th day of November 2025 that we commend Jaden Greenwood for her outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the residents of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be Jaden Greenwood Day throughout San Diego County.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jaden Greenwood. Thank you so much to the San Diego County Board of Supervisors for this proclamation. I truly could not be more honored. Having worked with Supervisor Lawson Weimer for almost 2 years, I've helped prepare proclamations for others, so being on the receiving end is totally full circle and super exciting today. Over the past year and a half, I've dedicated myself to endurance training with one simple goal: to keep proving myself that I could do hard things. Training for this triathlon pushed me to stay disciplined, stay focused, and stay patient through the process. This journey has also highlighted Supervisor Lawson Reamer and I's shared interest in endurance sports, so getting to show her this has been super exciting. San Diego has been a perfect place to grow into that version of myself. Our community, our coastline, and our weather make it possible to train almost anywhere and anytime. Whether I was running through our neighborhoods, biking along the coast, or diving into the ocean to practice my swim, I always was reminded how grateful I am to call this county home. Winning this triathlon wasn't just a personal milestone. It represents the support, opportunities, and inspiration I've found here in San Diego. So thank you again for recognizing me for this achievement. It means more than I can put into words, and I'm excited to continue pushing myself and contributing to this incredible county.
And good job, Mom. Okay. The second proclamation will be given by Supervisor Desmond, honoring National Family Caregivers Month. Accepting the proclamation will be Perla Hurtado.
Hey, good morning. Hey, great to see you. Great to see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right. Well, good morning, and I'd like to welcome our Executive Director, Perla Hurtado, and her incredible team from the Foundation for Senior Care in Fallbrook. We are grateful to have you all here today. November is National Family Caregivers Month, and it's an important reminder of the people who hold our communities together. So across San Diego County, tens of thousands of residents quietly balance their careers, families, and the daily responsibilities of caring for an aging parent, a spouse, or a loved one with chronic medical needs. These caregivers, they are the backbone of our social support system. They help keep loved ones safe, healthy, and often out of costly institutional settings. According to the AARP, more than 48 million Americans provide unpaid care each year, spending on an average more than $7,200 of their own money annually, and over $11,500 annually for those caring for veterans. That's why this work of the Foundation of Senior Care is so essential. Since 1979, this organization has been a lifeline for seniors and family caregivers in Fallbrook, Bonsall, Rainbow, and Duluth. That's in Northern California. No, San Diego County. Anyway, what started as a small volunteer effort actually has grown into a vital nonprofit promoting safety, independence, and dignity for older adults in North County. Every year, the foundation provides over 5,500 rides, over 10,000 support interactions, 2,500 days of care, and provides more than 1,200 senior services like transportation, advocacy, and technology assistance, recovery support, companionship, and education, and their adult day center for people living with memory loss and dementia. This is the kind of work that allows seniors to stay connected, supported, and cared for those close to home. In April, the county's Health and Human Services Agency recognized the foundation with the Director's Public Health Champion Award, and they earned every bit of it. The County of San Diego, we are committed to recognizing organizations that embody the best public service and the Foundation for Senior Care is one shining example of that commitment. So now, therefore, on behalf of myself and the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, we proudly commend the Foundation for Senior Care for their outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to the people of San Diego County. And here I'm going to hand this to you, Perla, the proclamation. So we hereby declare this month to be National Family Caregivers Month throughout San Diego County. So give them a hand, please. So I want to personally say thank you for everything you do for our seniors, our caregivers, and in our community. So congratulations, Perla. And would you like to come up and say a few words? Thank you so much for leading this effort. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the County Board of Supervisors and to Supervisor Jim Desmond for this wonderful recognition and for the opportunity to say a few words. I would first like to introduce my team: Alicia Wright, our referral and support advocate; Joanna Costello, our development specialist; Candy Schoenheit, and Gail Jones, longtime board members and supporters of the work of the foundation. As Supervisor Desmond told you, the Foundation for Senior Care is a North County organization dedicated to older adults and their families who support them. One of the roles we are most honored to play is supporting family caregivers. Every day, we see the love, dedication, and often exhaustion that comes with caring for a parent or a spouse living with challenges of aging. Because of that, we've built our programs with caregivers in mind, offering a mix of services that ease their load and surround both the caregiver and the loved one with meaningful support. At our Adult Day Center, we provide a safe, engaging, uplifting space for those with dementia and memory challenges, giving caregivers the gift of time to work, rest, and simply breathe, all while knowing that their loved ones are in safe hands. We also know transportation can be a major barrier, which is why our Caravan program helps ensure that guests can get to and from our Adult Day Center safely and reliably without adding strain to the family. And beyond daytime caregiving, we host a monthly caregiver support group where families can connect, share, and realize they're not alone. And when caregivers need help at home, our referral and support advocates, like Alicia, are experienced at navigating insurance benefits, respite programs, and community resources to bring more support directly to the household. Caregivers are the quiet backbone of our community, and it is our privilege to stand beside them. And finally, a piece of exciting news. On January 1st, 2026, we will be merging with the Fallbrook Senior Center to form the Center for Senior Wellbeing. Thank you. It is a comprehensive go-to resource for all things senior. As a united organization, we'll offer all of the foundation's existing services while adding senior lunches, activities and classes, and a thrift shop that provides both volunteer opportunities and affordable shopping for older adults. We are truly honored by this recognition and are even more excited for the future, what the future holds. Thank you.
All right, cool. I want to say just a quick little word. One of the things I've noticed as a county supervisor representing the unincorporated areas of the county, they don't have their own city managers, they don't have their own mayors or city councils. They count on us at the county. And one of the things I've noticed that Fallbrook, Valley Center, Borrego, in my district, I'm sure Julian, Alpine, when the people of the unincorporated areas need to get something done, they do it. They just do it on their own, and they pull together these teams and these efforts like this to get the job done. And that's what really inspires me, that You know, it's not always government doing the job, but the people pulling together themselves and doing what's right for their own communities, and I really appreciate that. So I wanted to say thank you very much, Pearl, for every one of your efforts. All of these people are volunteers of their community doing the right thing. So thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, we're going to get a picture here.
Okay, thank you. The third proclamation will be given by Vice Chair Monica Montgomery Stepp, honoring the Community Research Foundation. Accepting the proclamation will be James Rogers.
Come on down, everyone. And good morning. It truly is my honor to recognize the Community Research Foundation, or CRF, as we celebrate its 45th anniversary of service to San Diego County. Since 1980, CRF has been a trusted and compassionate partner with the county, providing specialty behavioral health services to individuals and families, especially those with little or no resources, helping them find hope, healing, and stability. Today, CRF operates 33 programs with more than 1,100 dedicated employees, serving over 18,000 individuals each year throughout the entire county. Their system of care is comprehensive and life-changing, addressing urgent, ongoing, and long-term behavioral health needs. They meet people where they are and walk beside them on the path to recovery. This is done through their short-term acute residential treatment, also known as START programs, which include outpatient centers to housing support, crisis response services, and community partnerships. The START programs, first developed under CRF's founder, Dr. William Hobie Hawthorne, have been recognized nationally for their excellence. In 2001, the American Psychiatric Association honored CRF with the National Gold Award for outstanding achievement in the treatment of acute serious mental illness. Dr. Hawthorne's pioneering research continues to influence the field and improve the way communities across the nation deliver care. CRF's legacy doesn't stop there. They are also investing in the future of behavioral health by mentoring nearly 100 student interns each year through their Intern Training Institute, inspiring and preparing the next generation of compassionate providers. For 45 years, the Community Research Foundation has been a steadfast partner in our collective mission to ensure that all San Diegans, no matter their income or their circumstance, have access to high-quality, person-centered mental health care. On behalf of the County of San Diego, it is my great honor to present this proclamation recognizing the Community Research Foundation for 45 years of dedicated service, innovation, and leadership in behavioral health. And I'll just read the last line as I pass it over to whoever has the responsibility of holding it. The final line of the proclamation reads, "Be it proclaimed by Chair Tara Lawson-Remer and all of the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 18th day of November 2025, that we commend Community Research Foundation for their outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be Community Research Foundation Day throughout San Diego County." Congratulations, thank you for your service, and I'll turn the microphone over to you.
Good morning and buenos dias. Good morning, esteemed members of the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Montgomery Stepp, the Department of Behavioral Health Services, colleagues, and community partners. It is a great honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of all the employees, providers, and trainees at CRF Behavioral Health Care. In 1980, our late CEO, Dr. William Hobie Hawthorne, opened Turning Point Crisis Center in North County, one of the first crisis residential programs in the country. There are now 7 of these unique programs providing an alternative to psychiatric hospitalization located throughout San Diego County. We are honored to celebrate 45 years of Dr. Hawthorne's vision to improve and enrich the lives of individuals and families with serious mental illness. From that first program in 1980, CRF has grown to provide compassionate and effective services to over 18,000 individuals and families each year across 33 programs. Our staff, by providing individually tailored treatment and support, continue to inspire individuals with serious mental illness to recover and participate in meaningful community life. Dr. Hawthorne will be proud to see his legacy continue on this 45th anniversary. Thank you to the Board of Supervisors and the Department of Behavioral Health Services and staff for supporting and expanding behavioral health services across the county. Most importantly, I thank the CRF staff and providers who work tirelessly each day providing compassionate, high-quality behavioral health services to those individuals most in need. It is their dedication every day that make the vision possible. Thank you.
The fourth proclamation will be given by Vice Chair Monica Montgomery Stepp and Chair Pro Tem Paloma Aguirre, honoring the Southern California Resource Center. Accepting the proclamation will be the Southern Caregiver Resource Center.
Hello again, everybody. I want to say I'm really, really happy to recognize the National Family Caregivers Month by honoring and highlighting the invaluable work of the Southern Caregiver Resource Center. I also want to say congratulations to the Foundation for Senior Care that we heard from earlier. So the Southern Caregiver Resource Center, its support is not just theoretical, it is deeply personal to our office. One of my own staff members relies on their services to care for his mother, and through him we see firsthand the emotional, physical, and financial sacrifices that caregivers make every single day. Family caregivers are the backbone of so many households. They provide essential care and unwavering support to those who are aging, living with chronic illness, and navigating disabilities. Their compassion allows thousands of San Diegans to remain at home, surrounded by love, dignity, and stability. Caregiving is an act of profound love, but it is also a tremendous sacrifice. Caregivers balance work, children, finances, and their own health while often giving around-the-clock support. They show up every day with patience, strength, and a level of commitment that deserves to be seen and honored. Their contributions extend far beyond individual families. Caregivers strengthen an entire community while reducing healthcare costs, preventing unnecessary hospitalizations, and helping create a culture rooted in compassion and resilience and care. National Family Caregivers Month also allows us to pause and raise awareness. Caregiving requires strength, patience, and compassion, and far too often, caregivers carry that responsibility alone. The Southern Caregiver Resource Center helps lift that weight. They provide guidance, respite, and resources that allow caregivers to show up fully for the people that they love while still taking care of themselves. As a county, we must continue working to uplift them and ensure that they are not carrying these responsibilities alone. Today, we express our deep appreciation for the caregivers in our region. And so on behalf of the County of San Diego, it's my privilege to present this proclamation alongside Chair Pro Tem Aguirre, extending our deepest gratitude to the Southern Caregiver Resource Center. And now I will turn it over to Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Good morning, everyone. Today, in commemoration of National Family Caregiver Month, I, alongside Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp, am honored to present this proclamation recognizing the extraordinary work of the Southern Caregiver Resource Center, an organization that has transformed the lives of caregivers and families across San Diego County for more than 35 years. Family caregivers play a critical role in our community, supporting loved ones who are aging, living with chronic illness, or navigating disabilities. I've had the privilege of working with family caregivers on my staff and have seen firsthand the dedication they bring to caring for a loved one. Yet too often, family caregivers carry a number of responsibilities alone, facing emotional, physical, and financial challenges that can feel overwhelming. That is why the work of Southern Caregiver Resource Center is so essential. And today we are joined by Martha Rannon, Executive Vice President, whose leadership and advocacy have strengthened SCRC's mission and expanded its reach throughout our region. Southern Caregiver Resource Center has been a lifeline for thousands of families through bilingual education, counseling, support groups, and community training. SCRC ensures that caregivers are not left to navigate this journey alone. Their work reduces caregiver stress, improves quality of life, and allows countless San Diegans to remain safely in their homes with dignity and independence. This support is especially meaningful during National Family Caregiver Month, when we honor the devotion of caregivers and shine a light on the challenges they face. SCRC's work truly embodies the best ideals of public service, empathy, commitment, and community. Today, the County of San Diego proudly honors the Southern Caregiver Resource Center for its outstanding service, leadership, and unwavering support of caregivers across our region. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed by Chair Tara Lawson-Remer and all of us members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, we do hereby declare this day to be Southern Caregiver Resource Center Day throughout San Diego County, commending SCRC for their remarkable contributions to caregivers and to the well-being of our community. Please help me in celebrating them.
Good morning, Chair Lawson-Remer, members of the Board of Supervisors, county administrators, and all of you here present. I'm Marta Rañón, the Executive Vice President of Southern Caregiver Resource Center, and it's a great honor to be here with you celebrating family caregivers during National Family Caregivers Month and recognize the selfless work that they do every single day. For close to 40 years, we've worked directly with those who care, support, and advocate for the health needs of people with chronic and debilitating conditions, people with Alzheimer's disease, traumatic brain injury, people with, who are too frail to care for themselves. With more than 490,000 family caregivers throughout San Diego, we know that they are the backbone of our society. Many of you know firsthand what it takes to care for someone with memory loss or who has mobility issues. That commitment and resilience give our most vulnerable a better quality of life. By reducing hospitalization and cost to the healthcare system, their actions enhance our community with compassion and kindness. But caregiving is not easy. Our data shows that clients experience clinical depression, loneliness, isolation, and high levels of burden. It is why we developed evidence-based interventions offered in both English and Spanish, virtual and in person, culturally appropriate, and specifically tailored to our caregiving population. Caregiver TLC and Calma are two of our programs that reduce depression, anxiety, and burden. We're proud to be the leading provider of these free vital services as part of the county's older adult early intervention program. Thank you for this recognition to highlight the positive impact of family caregivers. As we reflect on the significance of this month, let us continue working together to care for those who care for others. Yes. We're going to sit right here? Okay. Over there in the front. Okay.
Thank you very much. The final proclamation will be given by Chair Pro Tem Paloma Aguirre, honoring One World Bridge. Accepting the proclamation will be One World Bridge.
Great, thank you. I am so proud to be here today to present this proclamation honoring One World Bridge. This recognition is especially meaningful to me because I've had the privilege of attending their last two powwows, thanks to the invitation from Executive Director J.L. Jackson, who stands beside me today along with Sophia Urban and students Faith Anaya and Rhiannon Chrisman. Being welcomed into that space and experiencing the beauty, power, and purpose of their work firsthand has been deeply, deeply moving for me. One World Bridge started in my beloved Imperial Beach 24 years ago, and it was incredible to see how programs like Native Like Water give youth opportunities to grow, help communities stay connected to their culture, and encourage care for our local environment, especially as we continue to face challenges from the Tijuana River sewage crisis. Their work reminds us how closely our youth, our culture, and our coastline are connected. I also want to highlight the amazing storytelling by Native Like Water. From the Hagua short film to program videos featuring youth voices, cultural leadership, and environmental connection, it's these stories that show the depth and impact of their work and the importance of Indigenous stewardship and ocean culture. So we're gonna play a very nice little video for you guys in a second. One World Bridge brings together American Indian tribes and communities from across the country, creating space to celebrate culture through traditional Native American drum groups, dancers, and a true powwow atmosphere that honors tradition and unity. As a 501c3 headquartered in Imperial Beach, One World Bridge, alongside Executive Director Jackson and Mark Chavez, founder of the Native Like Water Youth Program, is celebrating 25 years of service to local communities. Through programs like Native Like Water and Intertribal Youth, they have created meaningful local and international opportunities for young people to learn, grow, and connect. Intertribal youth bring youth from various nations together through academic enrichment that centers ecological knowledge, science, health, and culture. Since 2000, they have quadrupled the number of programs they offer around the world. The Native Like Water programs helps Indigenous youth reconnect with ocean recreation, conservation, wellness, and cultural self-exploration. Their mission is rooted in a sacred relationship to water, helping young people move from simply surviving to truly thriving. Their work creates support and scholarships for Indigenous youth in California, Mexico, and internationally. One World Bridge also provides young adults with pathways into job development, including opportunities in construction, pre-apprenticeship, and state apprenticeship programs, helping ensure that cultural empowerment is paired with economic opportunity. Through all these programs, youth and young adults are given the chance to think, grow, and engage on local, national, and international stages. The County of San Diego is committed to recognizing and honoring individuals and organizations dedicated to the highest ideals of public service. One World Bridge, through their 22nd annual Powwow by the Sea, Native Like Water, and the American Indian Apprenticeship Initiatives, honors our veterans, celebrates our earth, and shares Native American culture with people of all backgrounds. Now, it is my honor to proclaim with Chair Lawson Remer and all the members of San Diego County Board of Supervisors, November 18th, 2025 to be One World Bridge Day throughout San Diego County, commending One World Bridge for its outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the citizens of San Diego County. And to everyone who is part of this organization, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do and for uplifting your traditions and knowledge and sharing them with the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bonjour. I don't have to say anything. She said it all. She's wonderful. She's helped us out in Indian country for a while now. What we do now affects the next 7 generations. And so having the young students here today is an opportunity for them to learn, how things work, how government and politicians and people like you celebrate them. And so it's really for them today and their parents that have moved them here in this direction. So thank you, Miigwech. Many thanks for the parents. So with that said, I just want to have somebody else speak. And Sophia Urban, she's been around a long time helping us and watch her grow up, so it's yours.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Sofia Uribe. Paloma, you concluded and summarized everything really beautifully, so I just want to share my gratitude and my appreciation. Gracias for today and for acknowledging us and the work we do, and being able to hold this space with these youth along these beautiful coastlines that we call home. It's such an honor to have these healing spaces, and like Jackson said, to have this healing generations forward and back as well. So I would love for the young ladies to just introduce themselves in this space as well. And yeah, thank you for this honor.
Good morning, Hauka. My name is Raina Chrisman. I come from the VA House Band of Kumeyaay Indians. I'm 17. Thank you for this, and yeah.
Hello, I'm Faith Anaya, and I'm from the San Luis Rey Band of Mission Indians. Thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you all very much. That was a beautiful video. Thank you for sharing. I am very pleased to administer the oath of office for our new treasurer tax collector, Larry Cohen. So if Larry could please come up to the podium. You ready?
I think so.
You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
I state your name.
I, Larry Cohen,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Okay, congratulations. We will take, oh, you're going to say a few words? Okay.
You don't mind.
Thank you.
This is the one time I get to speak before anyone gets mad at me, so. Wow. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Good morning, Chairwoman Tara Lawson-Remer, Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp, Supervisor Geary, Supervisor Anderson, Supervisor Desmond, distinguished guests, friends, family, and dedicated employees of the Treasurer Tax Collector's Office. It's an honor of a lifetime to stand before you today and to take this oath of service for this vital office, one that touches every home, every school district, every community in San Diego County. First, I want to express my deep gratitude to the Board of Supervisors for placing your trust in me. Your confidence means more than I can say, and I will work every single day to earn that trust from each of you. To my mentor, Congressman Juan Vargas, who couldn't be with us today and is in Washington, D.C., I can never thank you enough for sticking with me, brother, through this incredible 3-decade journey. Paco, you're like a brother to me. Thank you. Most importantly, to my wife of almost 30 years and my sons, Jack, Nick, and Luke, always know that you are the center of my world and that I love you all very much. Finally, I know that this office has been without a permanent leader for several months. During that time, 125 dedicated professionals, union and non-union alike, have kept operations running smoothly, ensuring that $9 billion in property tax collections and nearly $18 billion in pooled investments continued without interruption. To everyone in the audience here and to watching around the county, please know that is not just a function of good systems. That is a result of extraordinary people of the department doing excellent work. To every one of you, I say thank you. So if I may, let me start with this promise. I did not come here to cut, to tear down, or to impose sudden change. I came here to lift up, to support, to nurture, and to help the Treasurer Tax Collector team become even better than it already is. The dedicated employees of this office have built one of the most respected Treasurer Tax Collector offices in California, with a AAA-rated investment pool, world-class financial systems, and a reputation for fairness and accuracy. No accident. My role is not to disrupt that excellence, it's to build upon it. We will do that together collaboratively, transparently, and with a shared sense of mission. And to the residents of San Diego County, I want you to know that I work for you. You entrust us with your property tax payments, and in return, you deserve full transparency on how we manage and safeguard those dollars. You deserve to know how we're performing, where your money goes, and how those resources strengthen our schools, cities, and essential services. That means communicating clearly, publishing more data openly, and ensuring that when residents questions, they get real answers. I also want to speak to the heart of what this office can be. As I shared during my interview in the public forum, I believe this office is a little underutilized. Beyond managing funds responsibly, we can and will play a powerful role in advancing community well-being. That means exploring ways to generate stronger returns within the state's strict safety and liquidity standards, because every basis point we can earn translates into millions of additional dollars for our schools and local governments. It means thinking boldly about how we use our funds to align our region's priorities, whether that's workforce housing, sustainable infrastructure, or small business resilience. It means using technology to make life easier for the public and upgrading our system so residents can retrieve old records instantly or even visualize potentially where their tax dollars are going. And it means compassion, because for some families, paying property taxes is a real struggle. We have to acknowledge that reality. I want our office to be a stronger partner when working with people that face hardship. We will look for ways to offer flexibility and second chances and help residents keep their homes and preserve generational wealth. To the employees of the Treasurer Tax Collector Office, I want you to please hear this clearly. You are the backbone of this operation. I respect your expertise, your institutional knowledge, and your dedication to public service. My door will always be open. I will listen, I will learn, I will count on all of you to help shape the future of this office. Together, we will set a foundation not only today, but for the next decade, one grounded in professionalism, transparency, and innovation. As I begin this journey, I'm reminded of something I've learned both in 23 years in business and 10 years in public service. Lasting change always happens when people feel valued, not threatened, when leadership builds trust, not fear. So today, I take this oath. I do so with humility and optimism and with a deep sense of responsibility. To the Board of Supervisors, thank you again for the confidence you've placed in me. To the employees, thank you for the dedication that you bring to your job every day in demonstrating how to do it right and in the best way. And to the people of San Diego County, I will work hard for you. I will be transparent with you, and I will make decisions guided by fairness, integrity, and empathy. Together, we will strengthen this office, serve our residents with excellence, and prove that good government is not just about managing money, it's about earning trust. Thank you, and let's get to work. We're going to have a reception up on the 4th floor if you'd like to come up. Thank you once again, Supervisor.
Thank you all. So if you are going to be joining the reception, you can go ahead and make your way to the 4th floor now. We'll give folks a couple minutes to circulate and exit the chamber. Okay, thank you all very much. Before we reconvene the meeting, I would like to take a moment to address some House rules. Public engagement is the cornerstone of transparent and accountable government, and our Board of Supervisors meetings are one of the primary venues where all San Diegans can make their voices heard. The county is committed to a work environment free from unlawful discrimination and harassment, including sexual, racial, religious, age, disability, and any other form of discrimination or harassment. Under the board's rules, speakers are not allowed to use loud, shouting, threatening, impertinent, slanderous, profane, or abusive language to any member of the board, staff, or general public. Additionally, all remarks and questions must remain on topic during the duration of your speaking time and must be addressed to the board and not to county staff. Any speaker who engages in comments that break these rules will be issued a warning. After a warning, you may be asked to forfeit your time, or you will be asked to leave the chambers for the remainder of the meeting. Finally, speakers threatening violence will be reported to law enforcement and removed. This is a space for community engagement, deliberation, and progress, not for harassment, violence, and hate. So we now proceed with non-agenda public communication, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on subject matters within the board's jurisdiction, but not items on the meeting agenda today. Only action that the board may take is a referral to the CAO. Under the board's rules, speakers may speak once per meeting for non-agenda public comment, either at today's general session or tomorrow's land use session, but not both. Speakers can select which session to address at your convenience. To facilitate this meeting, we will have 5 speakers in person and 5 speakers by phone for non-agenda public comment, and the first 5 speakers in person will be randomly selected. The remainder of non-agenda public communication will be heard at the close of today's session. Additionally, in accordance with the board rules, in order to ensure timely completion of today's agenda, for all discussion items with 10 or more speakers, individuals will have 1 minute to share their opinion at the chair's discretion. A reminder that according to Rule 4A, members of the public that are non-English speaking and need interpretation assistance will receive twice the allotted time for their comments. And a final reminder, according to the board's rules of procedures, audience members shall not whistle, clap, stomp feet, or do anything that disrupts the proceedings. If you disrupt the meeting, you will be given a warning, and after that one warning, if you disrupt the meeting again, you will be directed to leave the chamber for the remainder of the meeting. Andrew, please call the speakers.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 16 requests to speak on matters not listed on the agenda, 5 individuals in person and 11 requesting to speak by phone. For those that requested to speak by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. Since we have 5 or more speakers, I'll go ahead and call 5 speakers in person. I'll go ahead and call those 5 individuals first. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board, and I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. I'd like to invite forward the first 3 individuals: Jock Rodriguez, Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra. They'll be followed by Parita Javier and Shelby Huffaker. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Not sure where Kimberly is, but Tara, I was wondering if you could tell your child trafficking network that we are waiting to hear from Kimberly and Alfredo, and if they need be, Kelly Martinez can be there because you guys are you are in the attempts to kidnap twins right now that were just born. Yeah, Malaika and Zaya Robinson's siblings. You guys are hot on the chase. And it's very disturbing to see the way that you guys work and how all of your social workers seem to know me by name. And hey, Audra, how you doing? Isn't that funny, right? It's funny because they're biased. They cannot come in and investigate something when they're not even investigating sexual abuse that's being covered up. So it's very egregious that you guys send out your demons to come and capture children when there is absolutely no reason to come to a hospital and investigate something that your agency made a report about. All while your agency is refusing, along with county council, to investigate sexual assault. And you think that you can come in here and then, potentially try and kidnap 2 little babies. This is a child trafficking network, and the only way we're going to negotiate is with the bosses that are doing it. Because it's ridiculous that so much fraud is put into case reports and into the courts, and you guys think that you're equipped to come and kidnap more kids. Thank God that there's more documentaries and information coming out about this massive child trafficking network, because it's going to come crashing to the ground. You guys will not succeed, and you will give back Malaika and Zaya.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Final call for Jock Rodriguez, Cesar Javier, Parita Javier, and Shelby Huffaker. Not seeing any movement in the chamber, we'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. We'll begin with our first caller.
Sorry about that. Good morning. My name is Shelby Huffaker. I'm a lifelong San Diegan from District 4, a public health researcher, and chair of the San Diego chapter of Americans for Safe Access, a nonprofit dedicated to advancing safe access to cannabis for therapeutic use and research. I'm here today to thank Supervisor Montgomery Stepp for recognizing San Diego ASA with a proclamation honoring our organization, the longstanding leadership of medical cannabis advocates in this region, and Medical Cannabis Awareness Week, now formally recognized countywide from November 1st through 7th. We are humbled by this honor and accept it with deep respect for the work that lies ahead. This month marks 29 years since Californians voted to legalize medical cannabis. Proposition 215 made our state the first in the nation to allow legal use and distribution of cannabis for therapeutic purposes, paving the way for dozens of states to follow suit. Over nearly 3 decades, we've made significant progress towards expanding regulated access and protecting the civil rights of the 1.92 million medical cannabis patients in California. Yet there is still more work to be done. We are encouraged by the county's leadership on cannabis social equity and hope to see the final environmental impact report brought before this board in the near future. Thank you to the board, and especially to Supervisor Montgomery Stepp, for your continued support of medical cannabis patients, community organizations, advocates, and all of the individuals impacted by decades of unjust cannabis criminalization. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Cesar Javier, Prita Javier, and also Jock Rodriguez. Please come forward.
Hello, I am Purita Javier, victim of toxicity since 1997. The County Health and Human Services has recently approved my application for meal, medical, and in-home services with my husband here at Giver, beginning June 2025. I trust my husband, as always, in search how to approve the menace ceramics kiln toxicity. We began our formal reporting in June 13, 2021. First, to the police and fire hazard and the city code enforcement all responded by declaring that the home economics has business tax permit and that ceramics kiln industrial operation is from permit per Louis APCD code rule. The second, we found out later that it is one of the 20 industrial and manufacturing business exempted from permit, meaning owner can locate, construct, and operate without regulation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Cesar and Purita. Since we asked lawful authorities to help us, that was 4 years ago, beginning with our, of course, community leader, Mr. Rivera, who was supported by Monica Montgomery Stiff, a community leader and county supervisor. This is the very guy that is dividing us in our community. It's difficult to talk to our neighbors. It's difficult to approach them, Asian Americans, Latino Americans. We suspect each other, if only to bring the truth that there is something killing us softly poison gas emitting from the ceramics kiln. He is the same person that blocked me in my hope to be a member of the governing board, APCD. I may not qualify as an urban planner, public administrator, civil engineer, and an educator here in San Diego. He blocked me. The guy that is absentee, Ma'am Rimmer and Ma'am Vargas, the one who stepped down, are all witnesses to this. Thank you, Ma'am Aguirre. You are taking over Ma'am Vargas. I gave you the business tax permit of the owner. The location, construction, and operation is fraud. I asked a standard plan of a kiln at the county. They cannot give us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Jock Rodriguez, father of Saxon Rodriguez, in custody deaths reported by San Diego Sheriff's Department on July 20th, 2021. I'm alleging criminal activity and false charges and perjury committed by the Chula Vista Police Department that resulted with my son dying in the sheriff's custody. I believe I have documentation from Chula Vista to support my allegations. The obstruction investigating what happened to my son is not only unacceptable, but has been criminal. I have been attempting my citizen's arrest under California PC 837 with certified notices of my intent. Where are my certifieds? Please accept into the record copies of certifieds for Chula Vista and San Diego. At this time, it appears fraud, waste, and abuse has occurred and been committed from law enforcement departments and government officials. From the beginning with my son's arrest and death, approximately 200 pages in charges, allegations, and a Chula Vista SIPR request never made it to CLRB for review. When Saxon's mother, my ex-wife, had an active complaint since July of 2021. It also appears the auditor for the county, state, federal auditors were also violated under fraud, waste, and abuse conspiracy for the last 4 years. Since April 2025, I've been engaged upon CLRB concerning criminal activity. Since September, I again re-engaged attempts to complete my citizen's arrest and was obstructed by not being presented with the CLRB Sergeant at Arms, Sheriff Deputy to make my arrests.
Thank you.
Would you like the copy, sir?
Thank you. We'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. And again, in accordance with the board's rules, we'll be hearing from the first 5 callers. The remaining callers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session. When it is your turn to speak, you will be unmuted and you will hear a recording that will tell you to begin your comments. We will begin with our first caller.
Paula Bowles, welcome aboard, Larry Cohn, Arabella McCormick, Andrea Ebbing, Evelyn Robinson, the 150 or so Polinsky Center abuse cases, along with other negligence or abuse cases, people and animals, make me wonder if the board takes care of its own but ignores all the harm to others its policy causes after they vote. A lot of board policies, sending letters here and there purporting to represent the entire county, although public sentiment is actually not mentioned. Long-term studies, emergencies without direct action also seem to be for show. However, these have after effects, mainly people sick and or distrustful, sometimes legal action. There is a scathing grand jury indictment on the McCormick case, details of which were made public and corroborate the details in the legal complaint. I'm therefore calling for a personnel audit, including dismissal of persons responsible for crimes against the people of this county or specific individuals within it for CWS, Child Welfare Service, Child Protective Service, and possibly HHS, the Sheriff Department, CLERB, and other agencies which deal with the public. Apparently, the animal abuse at Craig Networks and Deborah Barclay's ranch continues. There are state laws against not investigating or correcting this, apart from the disgust and distrust it brings. These are Government Code Section 25800 to 803, Board of Supervisors Duty to Animals, Penal Code Section 597, 597.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Consuelo here. So let's see. We're living in an upside down world, a world so inverted that the truth is treated like a threat and lies have become the comfortable norm. People cling to the illusion because facing reality feels dangerous. That's how far we've drifted. Somewhere along the way, society was programmed to believe that government grants us our rights as if they own us, as if sovereignty is something we earn through obedience. But you and I both know we were sovereign the day we were born. No institution gave that to us, and no institutions have the authority to take it away. So how did we get here? How did a free people end up in a system where human beings must ask permission to live, to work, to grow food, to exist without punishment? Look around. Every person in this room knows someone fighting to survive, someone with cancer, someone working 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. This is not normal. This is not freedom. This is a system designed to keep humanity stressed, distracted, compliant, and too exhausted to question anything. A slave system doesn't need chains and only needs belief. We've been trained to see obedience as virtue, even in schools. Children are rewarded for not for intelligence, not for curiosity, not for challenging the world, but for memorization, silence, and compliance. That is by design. They want workers, not thinkers. They want loyalty, not sovereignty. And for decades, we've been told that anarchy means chaos, when in truth, it simply means life without rulers. But in this inverted world, even that word has been hijacked because a free self-governing humanity is the one thing that this system fears the most. So I ask you, who did this government buy this land from? Who are these rulers we've been handed our minds and our rights to? And why do we keep pretending that they are the source of our power? They need us far more than we will ever need them. That has always been the truth. People have become so used to this.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Hi, this is Justin. I'm just going to go ahead and point out the true facts. You guys don't have to listen to us. You don't have to take our calls. You don't have to acknowledge us at all. And if we go ahead and say anything bad to you, you have the right to strip our rights away from us. I lost my job that I cared deeply about for 20 years because I spoke the truth. I was put on hold for 7 years, same thing. My reputation is ruined. I can't step on any government facility. Some days I just don't understand why the hell. I don't know. I'm bankrupt. And you're still trying to take everything from me. I don't see the point of life anymore. And that's very scary to me. It sucks for the fact that I dedicated 20 years of my life to help make the system perfect, and because Michael Vu wanted to destroy it, you guys let him. I gave you the election laws that you could go ahead and stop legally the certification of the election, but you won't because you like it. You want it to continue and you don't care what we have to say. I'm not going to be calling you guys anymore. I'm not going to be talking to you guys anymore because I recognize this now. I recognize that you don't serve the people, and you don't have to. You just need to win your election any way necessary, and then therefore you get all the power. It sucks. I don't know what to do about it. There's nothing that the people could do about it. This decision has to come from you guys, whether or not you want to serve the people.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next
Can we
caller.
do what we can to get him help? Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Andrew. My name is Zora Fahim, president and founder of Los Angeles Alliance for Animals. There is a famous truth. The greatness of a nation is judged by the way its animals are treated. And the county of San Diego is not great, it's awful. District Attorney Summer Stephan and this county has allowed some of the worst animal cruelty we have ever documented. And under the leadership of Supervisor Tara Larson-Remer, we now have 4 dead horses, 4 that we know of, connected to her oversight. This latest tragedy did not come out of nowhere. It came after weeks, even months of visible suffering. Equine veterinarian Dr. Jessica Stokes confirmed it takes weeks or months for a horse's muscle to degrade to the extent that its body condition score near the bottom of the scale. That means that Penny the horse on the screen was deteriorating in plain view while the county, particularly Andrew Strong, did nothing meaningful to intervene. And the hypocrisy is staggering. Supervisor Tara Larson-Remer claims she's fighting against the federal government because she believes they are starving our children. Yet because of her, horses are allegedly being starved. The horses were given algae water on Artesian Road, moldy hay, and forced to eat from their own feces. This is not care. This is alleged criminal animal cruelty that isn't prosecuted or enforced on Artesian Road. Then we have Assistant Director Rachel Borelli's statement on shelter dogs that Deputy CAO Andrew Strong allowed to be employed by our tax dollars, even though she has no shelter management experience.
Yeah, but in Carlsbad, they don't euthanize anything, even if the dog fucking bit a kid. So that's why I was like, euthanize the dog. Like, I'm so sick of us keeping shit dogs that aren't going to get adopted. That's why we're overcrowded. Call me heartless, but I'm also realist.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the final caller.
Hey, it's Truth. I want to address the never-ending story of the never-ending grifter, Manuela Aguirre. Despite her campaign raising $398,000, she continued her pattern and practice of mismanagement by spending $530,000. That's $132,000 over budget. As usual, Manuela had the audacity to beg for more money at an event on November 12th in Barrio Logan to retire her campaign debt. It only cost $200 to be considered a friend. After her husband, Jose, filing bankruptcy with $31,000 in debt, Manuela's $7,000 credit card debt, not showing up for court, and never having a real job, it seems Manuela is expecting her supporters to pay her back twofold. If that grift wasn't enough, Manuela then attended an event a few days later on November 15th at crazy Carl Bradley's house on Thorn Street. She was there to beg for money on behalf of the anti-child nut job Antonia Martinez, who refused to protect children from predators and violence by denying cameras in school hallways. But if that second grift wasn't enough, there's a third. After Manuela put up those communist red hazard signs, it forced a dropped contract for the TRV Community Gardens. It is not a coincidence that Manuela now has gifted a new contract to her former employer, the International Community Foundation, doing business as Olivewood Gardens. From 2019 to 2023, Manuela was an environmental advisor to the International Community Foundation. The ICF even funded Manuela's other former employer, Wild Coast, with $20,000. They funneled money to Mexico, wiring about $10 million in grants to them in 2024 alone. They also seem to support illegal immigration, giving LA-based Immigrant Defenders Law $366,000. Olivewood Gardens is their front operation to benefit Mexico, just like Manuela does. And finally, after another show of Manuela's true lack of character, a few weeks ago, right outside the county building, Manuela was coming up the stairs with her dog at the same time my friend, Mary Davis, was going down. What did Manuela do? Try to hide her face with her hair like the coward she is. Shame. Cross fingers, Manuela goes to prison. Maybe Larry too. Good morning, everybody.
Excuse me, and Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes the request for non-agenda public communication this morning. Again, all the remaining speakers will be heard at the conclusion of today's session.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to take a moment regarding the situation with the horses on Artesian Road. Do we have a report back or any kind of updates regarding our efforts on this matter?
Thank you so much, Chair, for that inquiry and the opportunity to provide some comments. Yes, I'd like to refer to Deputy CAO Andrew Strong to provide an update. Thank you.
And thank you, Chair and Ebony. The Department of Animal Services is currently in possession of two horses that were impounded from the ranch on Artesian Road back in September after the death of the horse named Penny back in August. The horses were seized as part of the ongoing investigation with the District Attorney's Office on that case. It's an active investigation currently. Animal Services seized those horses under the authority of a criminal warrant signed by the Superior Court judge, and this is currently an active investigation, as I previously stated. And we take these allegations very seriously. Any allegations of neglect are seriously considered within our Office of Animal Services. And if the public has any new information for us, we'd be happy to take that as a part of this active investigation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, any of my other colleagues? Please, go ahead.
I know this isn't agendized, but if the investigation's going on, there still is, the facility is still able to operate? And there's oversight on their operations now with the investigation going on?
That's correct. The facility is allowed to operate as this is an active investigation with the District Attorney's Office.
But is there oversight during the investigation period on the facility? I mean, since we took a couple horses, something caused that. Do we have oversight of that facility to make sure this isn't happening anymore?
So those horses were taken under suspicion of neglect. We took those horses because they looked like they were being neglected. There was an investigation to determine if there was, as far as their health. The veterinarian has done an analysis to determine that there was potentially some neglect there, so there's a continued investigation on that entire ranch.
I get there's an investigation. I just want to make sure there's oversight on the facility since we know potentially there was neglect.
As far as oversight, we continue to monitor the facility. We continue to do drive-bys of that ranch, but that's the extent of the monitoring and oversight that we can do on that property.
Okay, well, if we could do it more often or whatever the case may be, I think it would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes and statements of proceedings for the general legislative session of November 4th and 5th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Andrew, please call the vote.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, thank you. We now proceed with the formation of the consent agenda. That's items 1 through 17. All items on consent are routine and will be acted upon with one motion. Individuals can comment on the consent agenda after any of my colleagues pull items they would like to pull for discussion or make any comments they have on any of items. Vice Chair Montgomery Stepp.
Nothing to pull. I will go ahead and move the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. Chair Pro Tem Aguirre. Okay, no items to pull and no comments. Okay, thank you. Supervisor Anderson?
None at this time.
Supervisor Desmond?
Nothing to pull, but I do have a comment on item 5. This is about the behavioral health services contracts. And I understand that this item is about these contracts. And I see one is with Exodus for one of our crisis stabilization units. And I just wanted to take a moment to highlight last week, we did the ribbon cutting for a 16-bed Tri-City psychiatric health facility. We did this grand opening last week. Exodus is going to be operating the facility, and I wanted to thank them for their work on this long-awaited project. And I also want to thank county staff for all the work. It took many, many years to get this facility that we had built on the Tri-City Hospital property. and Tri-City Medical Center and the board for all their collaboration and cooperation. This is a critical facility for not just North County, for all of San Diego County. We need more psychiatric beds. This is a brand new facility. That's going to be able to treat hundreds of people in need each year to help get them on the right path out of crisis and into recovery. I brought this item back in 2019, so I was glad to see it finally being opening up. I just want to thank staff for all the hard work and effort on this, and very happy to see progress in our treatment and care of people who need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Desmond. I don't have anything to pull. I just do have a couple of remarks on item 2. And I just want to, I think, first to thank the team. It's great to see the work that we're doing on expanding our workforce. It's incredibly important. But I just do want to uplift the work that Futuro Health has been doing in this area. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with it, but it's a newer organization that I think has a pretty exciting model for recruiting workers from disadvantaged communities, providing tuition-free training and credentials, and placing them in good jobs in health fields. So as we move forward with this initiative and similar initiatives, it would be great to see Futuro Health included alongside the work alongside our other partners. And I'm happy to share more information about Futuro if that would be helpful. And then I wanted to make just a quick comment on item 3, just noting that this is pretty cool and kind of a big deal. It's pretty innovative. This is targeting a key population, folks with serious mental illnesses and substance use disorders who are stuck in a cycle between streets and emergency rooms and jails. I think we all know that treatment doesn't work unless someone has a safe place to stay. So the big news, if it wasn't clear to everyone, is that Medicaid, as part of our waiver, is now helping to pay for the short-term housing. This is a big shift, and it means health plans will share responsibility instead of just the county trying to do everything alone. But I do want to note that it is a pilot, and whether it continues will depend on decisions at the federal level regarding the continuation of our waiver. So I just wanted to take a moment to make sure that staff is really focused on tracking outcomes and impacts and regarding housing stability and how that is impacting treatment and adherence to treatment protocols, because we do know this is a pilot, and so this money is going to disappear. So I don't know if we have anyone here who can kind of talk about what the plan is to track impacts, so we better have data on whether this actually is making the impact that we hope, given that it's only a pilot.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'll ask Nadia to come up to address that question specifically in terms of the population and the tracking mechanisms. Thanks.
Is this on? Okay. Thank you, Chair. So yes, it's a pilot, but while we are beginning this in January, we also got a technical assistance grant, and that's really going to help us determine the long-term plan for transitional rent and the flexible housing pool, if that's the right model or if we need to make sort of tweaks to it within our region to make it work best. So, and just to be super clear, the folks coming in to the pilot are going to be folks coming from our ACT services. So they have very prescribed treatment plans and requirements around that. And really the goal is to keep them sort of enrolled in services while they're in using the transitional rent and flexible housing pool benefit, and then connecting them to long-term housing options afterwards, which I think is the most challenging piece for us. So yeah, we anticipate when the grant or the contracts get signed, we'll have a better understanding of what that's going to look like, and then be able to sort of develop the longer-term plan.
Thank you so much. That's great. That's great news. Okay, we have a motion by Supervisor Montgomery Steppe. We will go to public comment. Well, first we can take a second, and then we can go to public. Okay, thank you, Chair Pro Tem Aguirre, and then we can go to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 13 requests to speak on items on the consent agenda, 5 in person and 8 requesting to speak by phone. Any individuals that requested to speak on the items on the consent agenda by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to address the board, and I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. Also, when speaking, please identify which item or items on the consent agenda you are speaking about. I'd like to call forward the first 3 individuals: Cesar Javier, Ali Vredenberg, and allegedly Audra. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Cesar and Purita. Item number 1, volunteerism. This is a vital platform, particularly on the public sector. There is no governance without people, and these people are the volunteers. I volunteered as Community Action Advisory Board member, Aging and Independent Advisory Board member, and even APCD Governing Board, which was under the county before. It looks like that they do not like us. Filipino-American. And up to now, we are waiting for the result. The Board of Selection did not recommend us because their boss is, pardon me, but I have to tell the truth. The boss is Montgomery Stiff. A very steep decision by the interviewers. I'm sorry. On 3, no. On 4, yes. 5, yes. 6, yes. But number 7, in our engagement with the city and Sandag, we have a great lesson to be learned from the city governance. Selling real estate is the last recourse or course of action. We need real estate to support programs of the county, particularly the health human services. They need a shelter for victims.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Thank you.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Ali Vredenberg, and I run the Belonging Lab, a nonprofit focused on youth mental health in San Diego. Every single week, parents reach out to me asking what services exist for their kids because they've tried to navigate the system and cannot find the help that they need. I'm speaking in support of item 4 for prevention for kids up to age 5, but what I consistently hear from families is what happens after age 5. After we support children in that crucial early window, what is the county's plan to carry prevention forward into ages 6 to 25, the years when mental health needs truly surge? Your voters, the parents who call me, want prevention that follows children as they grow up. Families keep telling me they can't find prevention time finding them or affording them. I support item 4, and I'm asking us to build the bridge so proactive mental health services won't stop at kindergarten. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next speaker is coming forward. I'd like to invite the remaining speakers in person, Tanya Torosian and Natalie Rashke.
So interesting seeing domestic terrorists at work, and you got your child trafficking network in here. What's up, Alfredo? You gonna call Evanilla and I with Kimberly? Let's talk about you kidnapping some twins, that's not going to happen. Anyway, with you guys in your 0 to 5, what age is 0? Is that in utero where we rip babies apart limb by limb because they're just a clump of cells? I'm just wondering. But yeah, when you have your social workers, you know, like people that work under one of the ringleaders, Alfredo Guardado, and then the other one, Kimberly Giardina, who isn't here today, too bad. And then you have like Angelica Valdez and Amanda Club May. They're going viral right now, it's good. Trying to come and kidnap twin babies. It's interesting to see what you guys do and how you put children through behavioral health therapy because they're not transitioning well when you kidnap them, and you're like, why aren't they just like doing their thing and like going along with the agenda? How come they're having behavioral health issues? Let's put them on some psychotropic drugs just so that they then forget about the sexual assault, right, that they're reporting that you guys are hiding. Good job. It's so interesting the way that you guys, you know, it's such a lucrative business, especially with twin babies, right? It's exciting to go and hunt them down, isn't it, when you have all your little social workers doing that. I am looking at you, Tara. Don't worry about it. But you need to talk to your kidnapping team and make sure that you guys, I mean, if you really do care about kids, what about Arabella? I mean, she was tortured to death, right? She looked like a Shar-Pei puppy at 11 years old because she was only 48 pounds, the weight she would be at a 5-year-old age. But, you know, that's okay as long as we put them with foster families who beat the crap out of them and basically kill them. That's what the name of the game is. Good job, you guys. You deserve a gold star.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Thank you for hearing me today. As we go through all these agendas, until we recognize how this all started and the history of how this governmental branch that we fall under in the United States, until we recognize this history, we're just putting Band-Aids on everything. Did you know the last boarding school for Native Americans closed in 1996? We don't learn about this. We don't learn about this in school. They don't want to tell you this information. 1996, because it's still present, there's still memories. Parents need to understand nobody's going to save us. You have to start protecting yourselves. Do history, do the research. Find communities that you can build with. Don't expect the government to come and save us. You want to protect yourself? Know the rules, the laws that they play under. It's a chess game, and they make the rules and they're constantly changing. It's insulting. It's insulting. We're watching the US government collapse, and we lie to ourselves that there's not some agenda that's trying to play out here. But what we can do as a community is stand together. Don't turn to that anybody's going to save you except for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good morning. Chair Lawson-Remer and members of the board. My name is Tanya Tarosian, CEO for Promises to Kids, and I'm speaking in support of item number 9. I want to start by thanking the county staff for their collaboration and partnership. Promises to Kids is deeply committed to serving foster children, youth, and their families throughout the San Diego region. For over 43 years, we've provided safety, stability, and opportunity to thousands of children who depend on all of us. The item before you today allows behavioral health services the flexibility it needs as it evaluates longer-term space needs and the ability to expand its critical services for youth. It also allows for the seamless transition of our services from our original home at the Polinsky Children's Center since opening nearly 30 years ago to our new home, greatly expanding Promises to Kids support services a new innovative childcare with wraparound services designed for former foster youth who are parenting children up to age 5. We will also be expanding mental health services for former foster youth. It is for these reasons that we are here and kindly ask for your support of the lease amendments before you. These are a win-win for the county and for Promises to Kids as a right sizing and right locating of our mutual services for those who need them in our county. Thank you for your consideration and continued commitment to serving some of our most vulnerable. We look forward to continuing to work together, collaboratively serving all foster children and youth in our community.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. We'll begin with our first caller.
Hello. Job order construction capacity. 175 million of our taxes, big chunk of our tax money for 16 contracts worth up to 6 million. The total is 96 million. So 79 million extra in the worst case, probably more though. I know about fraud, waste, and abuse. Why are we paying so much extra rather than general services returning periodically if more funds are needed? The rest could be going to an emergency fund instead of a construction fund when people are fleeing the state, low-income people are going hungry, and crime is rising. But it sounds like the board wants the General Services Director to have absolute discretion over the money without a vote. Reeks of graft and corruption. 14, PSD Admin Code Review. This is essentially bribery in the Sheriff Department. Vote no. The ordinance, section 66.1 and 4, would allow the sheriff to get money or assets seized by Fed agencies like ICE, and then says it's essentially a bribe to ensure cooperation. It says the program's purpose will be to provide an added incentive to the sheriff's office to join with other local and law enforcement agencies to stem the rising tide of crime. The audit is yearly, so we might not find out about the improper use for a year or more. They could arrest someone and sell off their heirlooms almost with impunity. Closing down the courthouse construction fund is also a bad idea. The inside is shabby, there will always be need. Soliciting volunteers for the point.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Consuelo. Okay, so people got to stop pretending that we don't see what's happening here. I, for one, do not consent to anything this board says they're fixing on this consent calendar. These items, these contracts, these programs, these so-called services are not random. They're all tied to the same blueprint, the United Nations Agenda for the 21st Century. Every year, every board, every county quietly moves us deeper into centralized control under the disguise of community welfare, behavioral health, and public safety. They won't tell the truth. Nothing in these items provides real solutions. Nothing gets to the root of anything because permanent solutions are not lucrative or a part of the agenda. A behavioral health program that actually heals people? Nope, not profitable. A school system that actually strengthens children? Nope, not profitable. A community that does not need constant intervention, monitoring, and services? Definitely not profitable. A reminder, a patient cured is revenue lost. A society healed is revenue lost. A community empowered is control lost. And this board, like every board before it, will never deliver permanent solutions because the structure was never designed for solutions. It was designed for dependency. It was designed to keep funding flowing, contracts renewing, oversight expanding, and the public submitting. This board is not unique. This county is not unique. Counties across the state, across the country are moving in lockstep, sloppy, careless, rubber stamping control mechanisms under the name of care. This is how the slow march into a world where people will eventually beg for a new order, a new world order, thinking it will fix the chaos that these policies created. And I got to be blunt, man. If people don't wake up now, that new governance will make today look like freedom. You will need permission to sneeze, breathe, fart, whatever, to move. That is where this is headed if we keep pretending these consent items are normal. So I'm going to speak directly to the people of San Diego, the people of California, the people.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I'd like to speak to item 4. And as we discuss the importance of early intervention and prevention services for children ages 0 to 5, I want to highlight a growing concern that demands our attention: the lack of education around the harmful effects of substance exposure on young developing brains. Dr. Daniel Amen, a psychiatrist and founder of Change Your Brain Foundation and Brain MD, shared alarming insights about how drugs, including marijuana, can severely impact brain development. He explained how these substances disrupt neural connections, impair cognitive function, and increase the risk of long-term behavioral and emotional challenges. Despite this evidence, we are witnessing a dangerous trend of normalization of substance use, driven by misinformation and industry-driven narratives. The marijuana industry alone spends over $3 billion annually on marketing, often targeting young adults and families, downplaying risks, and promoting false ideas about safety. This normalization, combined with a lack of education, leaves families and caregivers ill-equipped to make informed decisions that protect their children's health. As we move forward with integrating First 5 programs, we have an opportunity to include clear prevention education and evidence-based information about the risks of substance exposure during pregnancy and early childhood. By doing so, we can counteract the false claims and empower families to prioritize their children's brain health. This effort aligns with the county's vision of creating healthy, safe, and thriving communities and supports the Live Well San Diego initiative by addressing social determinants of health. By acting now, we can ensure that every child in San Diego County has the opportunity to grow up safe, healthy, and ready to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the final caller.
Hi, good morning, Board of Supervisors. Thank you. My name is Madison, and I'm here to also support item 4, the proposed competitive solicitation for integrated prevention and early intervention services for children ages 0 to 5, and to urge the county to ensure that substance use prevention education for parents is a clear and intentional part of this continuum of care. We know that the earliest years of life are the most critical for brain development, bonding, and long-term well-being. But we also know that many families with young children are navigating stress, isolation, housing instability, and mental health challenges. Those pressures increase the risk of substance misuse among caregivers. And when that happens, it directly affects a child's emotional development, safety, and long-term outcomes. Substance use prevention for parents of infants and toddlers is not about stigma or punishment. It's about equipping families with knowledge, coping skills, and support before a crisis occurs. When parents understand how substances affect child development, when they know how to access help early, and when they feel they are talking to providers safely, we strengthen the protective factors that this board has consistently championed through Live Well San Diego and through decades of First 5 investments. As the county integrates these longstanding programs, especially during a time of declining First 5 revenue, this is a critical opportunity to build in upstream education that prevents harm, reduces future child welfare involvement, and supports healthy, thriving families. Prevention education is cost-effective, evidence-based, and completely aligned with the goals of developmental screening, family strengthening, and early behavioral support. Please continue to make substance use prevention education for parents a visible and intentional component of the new procurement. Our youngest children deserve families who are supported, informed, and empowered, and this integration effort is the perfect moment to ensure that happens. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes public comment on the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a motion and a second. Andrew, please call the vote.
Chair Lawson Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We now move on to discussion items. We'll begin with discussion item number 18. This is an item I introduced. This is the Partnership to Protect San Diego, a public philanthropic effort to shield food, housing, and health from federal cuts. So before moving to public comment, let me take a moment. Actually, we can go ahead and start with public comment, and then we can have some conversations and questions from the board.
Thank you, Chair Lawson Remer. For item 18, we have 12 requests to speak, 4 in person and 8 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 73 e-comments, 66 of those in support, 3 in opposition, and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 18 by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. Because there are 10 or more speakers on this item, you'll have 1 minute to address the board. I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record. I'd like to invite forward Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra, Natalie Rashke, and Mark Stewart.
Cesar and Purita. With our learning, particularly at Sandag meeting, the county is an independent political unit. It has its own resources, taxes coming from us, from all of us, and whether Uncle Sam gives us money or not should not be our concern, but rather focus on what we have. That's what a father in a family conceptually analyzed and implement. Let's govern, not campaign. Thank you.
Thank you. And next speaker, please.
Chair Lawson Remer, Supervisors, thank you for this opportunity to speak. San Diego Foundation is proud to stand with you today as a strong supporter of the Partnership to Protect San Diegans. As federal cuts make it harder for families to access food, housing, and health care, this partnership shows exactly what local leadership can accomplish when we work together. Nonprofits across our region are carrying more responsibility than ever. Through this partnership, our combined financial resources will go directly to shelters, clinics, food providers, and housing programs that serve communities most affected by these federal reductions. It ensures essential services stay within reach for the people who need them most. For 50 years, San Diegans have trusted the foundation to mobilize philanthropy quickly in moments of crisis, from wildfires to floods to the pandemic. Today's proposal continues that tradition, pairing the county's leadership with our community's generosity to protect the services that keep families stable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Natalie Rashke. I do appreciate this item because we have to be a community. We have to be. But we have to understand, what is our why? Are we doing this from the heart to really protect our community? Because if the heart of the why is not there, it's not going to work. We have to work together as a community to stand against this federal government. Why on earth would they cut what they're cutting? Why? They're starving their own people, not giving people the opportunity to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
It's interesting living in an inverted world and we wonder why things are getting cut. Sure, it's bad to like starve your people, but it's also bad to make decisions that lead to that. And you guys want to engage with more nefarious gangster operations, your little NGOs that do the bidding of the federal government, because they're like, we need you to help us get an invasion happening, and then we need you to send them out, and then we need you to pretend to take care of the homeless, and who cares if they die? It doesn't matter. We're just all racketeering with the money. It's funny, I hope all of the funding gets cut, because you guys can't be trusted. You traffic children with it. You give them behavioral health meds. You literally torment children with the money that you guys get. You do more detriment to them than help. Even the homeless, even the seniors. Look at the animals. I mean, is there anything that actually thrives while you guys are around? I mean, because if the funding gets cut, thank frickin' God. Because then maybe you guys will lose your paychecks for being domestic terrorists.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. We will start with our first caller.
All bold. It's a good idea for, makes you look good, but premature since Congress seems to be on the verge of restoring some or all of these cuts. 5% admin fee out of 18 mil is 900,000, which we'd be on the hook for. But it looks like we're just giving $4 million a year for a year, and 5% would be in a $200K, but we're still on the hook. This would be matched one by the San Diego Foundation. I hope it's financially stable enough, but 8 mil divided by an estimated 400,000 SNAP recipients is $20 per person minus 5%. Can't we do better? Think of something better? Large community gardens or farms. It's so nice to be prepared and virtue.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Consuelo. So let's see, item 18, yep, sounds noble, but it's only necessary because people have been made completely dependent on government. That dependency wasn't by accident, it was engineered. When people forget how to survive and thrive without a system, the system owns them. And here we are, Tara, bringing this item forward to appear like a hero to her constituents. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows what the game is. She knows how it's played. She knows the dependency was created on purpose. She knows these programs don't empower people. They keep them controlled, managed, and afraid of losing the little they've been given. It's not protection. This is leverage. And this is how you keep a population obedient. San Diego doesn't need more dependency. San Diego needs sovereignty, strength, and the reminder that the people are capable on their own when they're not trapped in a system designed to weaken them. Done. Fuckers.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, not seeing any additional callers in the queue. That concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you all very much. Let me just take a moment to kind of introduce what this is all about. I think we're all very well aware that the federal cuts are already putting food assistance, housing support, and health care for hundreds of thousands of San Diegans at risk. We saw it with the SNAP chaos over the last month, and we have to anticipate continued and, in fact, additional harm coming our way as H.R. 1 pushes healthcare and food assistance programs even further out of reach for our most vulnerable. The figure that I found most shocking and troubling from our point of view is the roughly $300 million in new cost pressures that we are facing, the $300 million budget hole that's coming our way, that's been created by H.R. 1, the federal red tape, the funding freezes that we are now grappling with implementing here at the county. So I think it's very clear we cannot sit back and hope Washington comes to our rescue. We have to be creative and collaborative and build safety nets to protect San Diego families. So today's item is a partnership with some of our region's largest and most effective philanthropic organizations. led by the San Diego Foundation and including the Prebis Foundation and Price Philanthropies. We are truly blessed in San Diego County with an incredible network of philanthropic organizations, and this is the kind of asset that makes our community stronger together. So let me just walk through what this accomplishes and what this does. First of all, it ensures the continuity of county-funded nonprofit services. And second, it expands the safety net to meet emerging needs in our communities around food, healthcare, and housing. So first, it ensures $36 million in existing county-funded nonprofit contracts are protected. That means no cuts and continuity of services. So the way this will work is San Diego Foundation, through its donor-advised funds, will be providing half of the funding for these programs over 2 years, roughly $18 million, which then frees up for the county significant flexibility in the face of these looming federal cuts. So it basically frees up $18 million for us to be able to utilize and frankly, for our CAO to be able to deploy as needed to plug holes that we see coming down the pipeline. And the second, the county will contribute $4 million to the San Diego Unity Fund, and this is the $70 million effort by the San Diego Foundation, Conrad Prebis Foundation, and Price Philanthropies to meet emerging San Diego's emerging needs in our region around housing, health, and food assistance. This $4 million will be matched by the San Diego Foundation to boost the figure to $8 million, which can then fund food banks, housing, and homelessness efforts and fill healthcare gaps. So in total, this will protect about $36 million in county contracted nonprofit programs from cuts. It will double the impact of every public dollar through a one-to-one philanthropic match with the San Diego Foundation. It provides $8 million in rapid relief this year through the San Diego Unity Fund for food, housing, and health. And it saves the county an estimated $13 million over 2 years, giving the CAO flexibility to avoid painful cuts and keep critical services stable. So that I would love to make a motion and would appreciate my colleagues' support. Supervisor Anderson.
I'm happy to second that motion. I think it's great that we're moving forward with this. The foundation has been great for the unincorporated, and we have so many poor communities who don't have mass transit, who have no ability to get far from their communities. When you're thinking about Potrero or Boulevard or some of these communities that are an hour's drive from here or more. I hope and I trust that the foundation will take those people into consideration and make sure the unincorporated communities are also covered because in Potrero, the average household income is $37,000. That's the household income. So I'm happy to support this today. It was a great board letter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Anderson. I appreciate the support. Supervisor Montgomery Stepp.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair, for bringing this forward. Thank you to the foundation and all of the partners that are part of the Unity Fund. I'm happy to support this today, but I do want to just ask that over our budget process that we can identify the savings and those be pretty explicit and clear as we go through our budget process, so we could just see how this is working and how the partnership is going and what those savings look like.
Okay, thank you. I think that's right. I mean, we know that there will be an MOU negotiated and there will be very specific nonprofits that are identified in that process. So there will be a very detailed tracking. So I think that will be helpful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for bringing this forward.
Thanks. Supervisor Aguirre?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and for your leadership on this item. I want to also thank the San Diego Foundation for your partnership and for being here today. Obviously, HR 1 is going to impact hundreds of thousands of people with the new work requirements and kicking people off. It's cruel, it's callous. So I appreciate your leadership in figuring out how we can move forward and ensuring that a lot of the nonprofits that are serving our communities and our constituents continue to do the work. I especially just want to call out one in particular. Obviously, we in the board letter includes domestic violence centers as well. One is in my district, Casa Mariposa. which serves a very large number of victims of domestic violence. So aligning myself with what the Vice Chair mentioned, since this is not coming back to us and this is going to be determined in the MOU and subsequently in budget discussions, I would make a recommendation to have a memo, maybe a report back to the board, maybe as soon as the MOU is completed and next steps, and then subsequently maybe an annual, I have no preference, but I think just keeping us up to date on the contents and the actions moving forward with this board letter, I would appreciate having that. I'm happy to support, and again, thank you, Chair, for your leadership on this issue.
Thank you. Is that something we can do, is just get folks a memo once the MOU is signed and we got clarity on how this is being implemented?
Thank you, Chair. Absolutely. We will provide a memo with the status report. I'm happy to do that, as well as to incorporate reporting into the budget process so that there is transparency on savings and how they're being applied. Thank
Great.
you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ebony, we're doing everything we can to find you additional flexibility, so thank you. Supervisor Desmond.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the board letter proposes to move forward with the partnership with the county and the San Diego Foundation. So the San Diego Foundation pays for half of our contracts with the nonprofits for the next 2 years. It's a great idea. However, I think the rhetoric in this board letter is incredibly misleading. And I can see that these recommendations could be beneficial, and it might create a way to save taxpayer dollars. I like that. However, I think the good intentions are muddied by the political language in the board letter. The rhetoric is misleading and frankly scaring the public, and I think is unnecessarily divisive. The cuts that we're talking about, people will not lose benefits if they sign up and they adhere to the requirements. The new requirements are work requirements for those who can, able-bodied adults age 18 to 65 without kids under the age of 14, and rather than work, if they can't find work, they can volunteer or go to school. These are the new described as devastating requirements and cuts. I think these are good achievable goals. And those who really need the benefits will remain on them. So what's before us are existing contracts. These contracts were not created in response to the federal government. But saying all that, my main concern, and Supervisor Geary, you brought it up, is I'm going to go a little further with it. The item proposes to direct the CAO to design and execute a detailed program and agreement without coming back to the board for consideration and approval. Now, I trust our CAO, but I think anything that has millions of dollars should come back to the board. The MOU should come back. And maybe voting for it. But I just don't like the process here that involves millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, critical contracts. The board should see it before we should move forward. I'd like this, it sounds great, but I'd like to see that before it comes back. And I don't know if you'd accept a friendly amendment to have it come back before it gets executed, but I do think we need to see the MOU before consideration and particularly before any implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Desmond. I think time is of the essence here, and given that we only have one meeting in December and then we're in January, I want to make sure our CAO can execute this in a timely manner. So I'm not going to support it coming back for a vote, but I think it's a great idea to have a memo, have transparency as that MOU is negotiated. So I'm happy to, I thought that was a great suggestion by Chair Pro Tem Aguirre, happy to include that. But we're not going to delay this implementation for a board vote. So any other comments? Okay, we have a motion by myself and a second by Supervisor Anderson. Please vote.
Chair Lawson Remer, that motion passes with Supervisor Desmond voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, thank you all very much. Now we move on to item number 19. This is another item that I brought forward, but let's begin with public comment.
Thank you, Chair Lawson Remer. We have 14 requests to speak on item 19, 4 in person and 10 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 325 e-comments, 303 of those in support, 3 in opposition, and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 19 by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward and stand on the arrows until it is your turn to speak at the podium. You will have 1 minute to address the board since there are 10 or more speakers on this item. I'd like to invite forward Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra, Judy Vaz, and Neil Ortiguera. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Yeah, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, right, Monica? Why are we making the path so wide? That wouldn't God not want his children to be ripped apart limb by limb? Or is this us just conforming to the world and living for the God of this world? Right? And saying, go ahead and sacrifice your child to darkness, because it's not really a life, right? But then we care about children 0 to 5. So do these children not count if they're 0? I mean, or are they, are they living in there? And then I'm wondering if we're gonna go out to all of the people who are on life support and just cut the cord. Let's just do that. Because if they can't survive, without that machine, then they're not a viable life, right? These aren't children we're talking about. These are not lives, because we're, making this path so wide anything goes. And look at the world we're in. We're in hell. It's crazy. This is Satan's playground. It is so evident. Good job. Woe to you guys for killing children.
Next speaker, please. If I've called your name, please come forward.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judy Vaz. I'm the Public Affairs Manager at Planned Parenthood at the Pacific Southwest, and I would like to thank Chair Lawson-Remer for bringing forward this important letter. At Planned Parenthood, we believe all people have the right to choose what to do with their bodies, and healthcare decisions are a private and personal matter. It is not the government's place or business to intervene in such matters and to decide what's best for us and our families. The Trump administration and the GOP-led Congress have recklessly undermined the public and have chosen to create a backdoor abortion ban. Defunding Planned Parenthood impacts everyone and disproportionately impacts people living in rural communities. 80% of our funding comes from Medicaid. In our state, 1 in 3 people rely on Medicaid, and half of our state's children rely on Medicaid. Planned Parenthood is devoted to taking care of our most underserved patients. We address the gaps in our healthcare system. The healthcare system relies on our health centers, our medical assistants, our clinicians. Help us restore our funding so we can continue to do this great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Neil Ortiguera. I'm the Senior Director of Public Affairs at the local Planned Parenthood Pacific Southwest. Thank you for taking this up today. Our Planned Parenthood is the second largest provider in the nation in terms of Planned Parenthood affiliates. We see about 130,000 patients every year in this region, about 80% of whom are on Medi-Cal, just like Judy said. And without a county hospital here in San Diego County, Medi-Cal patients rely on Planned Parenthood, FQHCs, and other community clinics to provide care and serve as a safety net in San Diego County. So that the idea that the federal government has passed this provision in H.R. 1 means that millions across the nation and hundreds of thousands here in San Diego County are losing access to life-saving cancer screenings, birth control, and a whole host of family planning services. So thank you for standing up and supporting these lawsuits. Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer, for bringing this letter forward, and I urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Final call for Cesar Javier. Not seeing him in the chamber. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. We'll start with our first caller.
Although 23 attorneys general already fighting for reproductive health services, but oh yeah, let's support the county lawyers repeating what those already dealing with these problems have said or done. A brief is far more expensive and time-consuming than the letter. Think overtime and stress and waste, fraud, and abuse, of course. And if the court denies permission to file or join an amicus brief, all this money and effort will be wasted. And by the way, the board letter mentions no other county which filed a brief. Since this eats into county staff time, one must consider how many county actions, liability suits, environmental claims, foster care death lawsuits, Polinsky Center cases, and so on will be delayed. And I hope this isn't about protecting just Planned Parenthood.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Okay, so Consuelo here. And before I begin, I needed to address what happened during the last item when Paul was speaking, a disabled community member who puts real effort into preparing his comments. I want to point out that Tara, Monica, Jim, and Ebony sat there openly talking amongst themselves, whispering, laughing, scrolling, anything except giving him the basic respect every speaker is owed. That behavior was disgusting. And you all demand respect from the public while giving absolutely none in return. A man who shows up, who prepares, who participates in this process with sincerity. And the response from this board is to talk over him like he's an inconvenience. You proved exactly what many of us already know. You're not listening, not to Paul, not to the public, not to anyone who doesn't serve your agenda. And if you can't offer a single minute of attention to a disabled resident who took the time to speak, then have the integrity to admit that you don't care instead of pretending that this is a public forum.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Hey, it's true. Just like item 18, item 19 continues Tara's socialist grift where NGOs that kill babies are worried about not being able to steal our tax dollars anymore because they hate babies. I'm not sure if I should say poor babies as an insult. Tara's never met a lawsuit she didn't like. She went from trying to scam Beloit and IB residents to opioid and firearms manufacturers to developers to now being a career grifter for Planned Parenthood. If Planned Parenthood has enough money to pay a bunch of doctors to do abortions and to help fund the political campaigns of people like Tara, Monica, and Manuela, then they already have more than enough money and should not be using them to fund crazy narcissists with unaddressed mental problems. If the majority of Planned Parenthood's patients rely on Medicare tax dollars, that means Planned Parenthood's care is too expensive or that they're targeting low-income people and people of color for their death care, just like they did under founder Margaret Sanger's racist eugenics agenda. 20 Planned Parenthoods closing is not enough. We need them all gone for their racist agenda. And where's Newscom getting that $140 million to Planned Parenthood from? What happened to the $20 billion deficit? Why do they only have money for the things we don't need?
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Good morning. My name is Karina Pugh. My pronouns are she, her, and I am speaking in support of this item on behalf of the San Diego LGBT Community Center. Our partners at Planned Parenthood work hard to serve our entire community and ensure accessibility to health care for all. This includes reproductive health care like abortion, but it's not restricted to this. Gender-affirming care, STI testing, cancer screenings, and so much more are critical, life-saving services that everyone deserves access to. Without access to Medicaid reimbursement, these essential service providers that fill a critical gap in county services will be severely impacted, and San Diegans will face the consequences. Our county must act to support San Diegans as attacks on healthcare, social safety net programs, and more continue to harm our communities. Please support this effort to file an amicus brief in support of Planned Parenthood and other reproductive health providers. Thank you.
Thank you. Now hear from the next caller.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Noah Yiyik. I'm a researcher and policy advocate with the Center on Policy Initiatives and a convener of the Community Budget Alliance and Invest in San Diego Families Coalition, coalitions that are committed to dignity, safety, and healthcare access for every San Diegan. We strongly support the county joining lawsuits to protect Planned Parenthood and block the federal ban on Medicaid reimbursements. This ban is an attack on communities who rely on Planned Parenthood for healthcare like cancer screenings, birth control, and STI treatment. In San Diego County, there were over 200,000 patient visits last year. And when clinics close, people don't stop needing care. They lose access to it. It will be extremely difficult for Planned Parenthood to continue serving San Diegans without this funding. Healthcare is a human right. A budget and a government should protect people, not strip away essential care. We urge you to vote yes and make sure San Diego stands firmly on the side of health, dignity, and the communities who need care the most. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson Remer, that concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you all very much. I'll just take a moment to say a couple remarks in introduction. I brought this item today because the bill that recently passed in Congress essentially targeted about 32,000 people in this county, in San Diego County, and frankly, millions more across the country. I'm just talking about the 32,000 folks that are here within our jurisdiction who rely on Planned Parenthood for preventative care, for cancer screenings, breast exams, birth control. And what it does is knocks out the ability of these individuals to utilize Planned Parenthood for these basic care functions. So this is nearly 900,000 Medi-Cal patients in this county who will feel these consequences. It's not only those who rely on Planned Parenthood, although that's clearly the population that's most directly impacted. It's really everyone who relies on Medi-Cal, because now you're subtracting and significantly shrinking the healthcare providers in this community, which will create longer wait times and more barriers to basic care. So what we're talking about is this budget law that blocks Medicaid reimbursement to nonprofit clinics because they also provide abortion services. But I think it's important to be very clear that federal dollars do not pay for abortions, and they never have. So this is not about stopping federal funding of abortions. It's about stopping federal dollars from being utilized at Planned Parenthood and other clinics that also provide abortions. So this is funding for basic care, breast exams, cancer screenings, preventative care, and fundamentally, it's really not a healthcare policy. This is about putting patients at risk. So, I think our county has really been focused for the last 5 years on defending people's rights and when federal decisions threaten our health. And so this item directs the county council to support lawsuits filed by Planned Parenthood and Attorney General Rob Bonta, which will mean, in essence, an amicus brief when this most likely goes to the First Circuit in a month or so. Oral arguments are on Monday, so I think we will miss that, but we can file an amicus in time for the appeal. And so this is our most direct path to stopping this attack and protecting the care that Planned Parenthood provides in San Diego County. So with that, I would like to make a motion and ask for the support of my colleagues. Thank you. Supervisor Montgomery Stepp.
Thank you so much. I would just like to second the motion. Most of what I have to say, you have already said it, but I think this is, like you said, a direct path for us to help in whatever way we can. So I'm happy to second the motion.
Thank you. Supervisor Geary.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to express my full support for allowing our county to defend reproductive health access. Planned Parenthood clinics provide preventative care that individuals and families rely on, including cancer screenings, birth control, and STI testing. As was mentioned earlier, nearly 80% of their patients are on Medi-Cal. And when federal reimbursements are cut off, those people don't stop needing care. They show up in our emergency rooms, our county clinics, where costs are higher and outcomes are worse. Losing these clinics and the services they provide would deepen inequities and undermine years of work this county has done to close these health gaps. Planned Parenthood and our broader network of community clinics and health systems need sustainable Medi-Cal reimbursements to stay open and provide the care our highest need residents rely on. So this is a chance for our county to make sure Washington does not take health care away from the people we serve. So I'm happy to support the item. Thank you, Chair, for your leadership on it.
Thank you so much. Any other comments from any of my colleagues? Okay, we can go ahead and have a vote.
Chair Lawson Remer, that motion passes with Supervisor Anderson and Supervisor Desmond voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, now we'll move on to item 20. This is adopt an ordinance adding articles to the San Diego County Code of Administrative Ordinances relating to law enforcement access to county facilities. So we can go ahead to start with public comment.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 13 requests to speak on this item, 5 in person and 8 requesting to speak by phone. Also note that we received 8 e-comments, 7 of those in support and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 20 by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. As your name is called, please come forward. Because there are 10 or more speakers on this item, you will have 1 minute to address the board, and I'll ask you to state your name for the audio record. I'd like to invite forward the following individuals: Cesar Javier, allegedly Audra, Ismael Robles, Natalie Rashke, and Aline Bratton. If I've called your name, please come forward.
You guys are hilarious. You actually care what law enforcement do. You don't want them to go in and get no illegals, right? You don't mind them going into, the community's homes and taking their children. If they were illegal, you would. If they were here illegally, you would be like, oh my gosh, that is so horrific. They're ripping families apart. Oh my gosh. But then when it happens to people in your own community, you're like, that's the name of the game. That's our business. It's good, right? Just like babies in the womb are not individuals. So somebody can murder them. It's hilarious what we pay you guys to do. Oh my gosh, like you don't want them going in your facilities and getting anybody out of here that was brought here illegally, right? Because you guys like due process, right? It's amazing. Even women can get assaulted in here and you guys don't give a shit. If I was an illegal, you would. It would be so horrible. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Board of Supervisors and CAO, good morning, buenos dias, Kuali Tonali. My name is Ismael Robles. I'm a taxpayer and a proud CEIU union member and a county employee with the Treasurer Tax Collector for almost 2 years. And by the way, congratulations, Larry. The work that I do is vital to the community members because I advocate for the underserved taxpayer who cannot read or write English or understand how their money is being allocated. And I'm asking the board to consider and recommend to approve the introduction of CLEAR, the ordinance to protect the community and workers who they serve. Thank you, Chair Tara Lawson-Remer and our CAO, Ebony, for bringing this information to the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Natalie Rashke. If this ordinance takes money away from the community, they're doing whatever they want anyways. They break the rules. It's their rules, their laws. They'll find a way around it. Whether it's following the rules that we set in these, sorry, I'm drawing a blank on what they need to get in to get to these documents. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't care. They haven't followed the rules up to now, or the law. They haven't done that now. What would we think that they would do it if we adopt this ordinance? Thank you.
Thank you. Final call for Cesar Javier and Aline Bratton. We'll now hear from those that requested to speak by phone. We'll start with our first caller.
All aboard. It is clear that ICE and the Border Patrol have far exceeded their legal authority and engaged in overly hostile and violent activity. But this proposed ordinance doesn't do the job. The exceptions in Section 957 make it essentially unenforceable. Federal law enforcement agency personnel or out-of-state law enforcement personnel could simply claim it's an inspection under regulatory authority. Just they've lied so often in the past, and saying in response to imminent threat or life or public safety pursuant to a narrowly tailored policy adopted by the chief administrative officer without specifying the policy is so vague that that would not stand up.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the next caller.
Consuelo here. Okay, so let me be clear. I'm all for people crossing legally and doing things the right way under the laws of this crazy country. And I'm not against the necessary force that comes with law enforcement, but I am against excessive force and the abuse of power. And that's exactly what ICE and the Border Patrol have been guilty of for years. And I'm talking about since the 80s and 70s, which is why this ordinance is such a joke. It's written in a way that looks protective but does absolutely nothing, as my husband pointed out. Section 9.5.7 is a built-in loophole. All an agent has to do is claim it's an inspection or regulatory authority, the same excuses they've used every time they step outside the law. This ordinance practically invites the same behavior. So stupid. And that vague imminent threat to life or public safety exception, yeah, right, come on. It's all hollow. It wouldn't survive in a courtroom challenge.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Hey, it's truth. This Civil Liberties Enforcement and Accountability Rules Clear Ordinance is based upon an ordinance adopted by the City of San Diego on October 21st. It is unclear why the county is copy-pasting items from the City of San Diego. Is Monica a minion for the City of San Diego? Because ever since she got here, this has happened several times, including bailouts with our county tax dollars. Also unclear, I speak fluent English. Can Robles explain where my tax dollars are going? Because this seems to be a theme of it going to nonsense like this ordinance. Restricting access to law enforcement to any part of county facilities without a warrant or court order is a clear sign to law enforcement that they are still not supported by this board ever since 2020. How much will the multilingual signage allegedly informing residents of their rights cost? I also ask, what rights? You guys locked down the county. What rights? Restricting access to law enforcement to county contractors, grantees, and leaseholders is clearly to protect the county grifter partnerships and programs. I actually think this is an intentional waste of county tax dollars and time, and you're going to be challenged in court, and you're going to lose. Get over it.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Good morning. My name is Karina Pugh. My pronouns are she, her. I am speaking in support of this item on behalf of the San Diego LGBT Community Center. San Diego has seen an appalling increase in immigration enforcement under this current administration. The violent and unlawful attacks upon our communities are creating an environment of fear and mistrust. Our communities are living their lives in terror. Immigrants, trans folks, people of color, and so many other folks are scared. Just for how they appear, how they sound, how they are perceived, people are being targeted by the federal government and illegally taken from their places of work, from their homes, from places where they have the right to feel safe. You as local elected leaders have the responsibility to take a stand and ensure that our local resources are not aiding in these atrocities. The San Diego LGBT Community Center asks that you act as bold leaders and ensure that our most vulnerable communities are protected from harm. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
My name is Andrea Ebbing, and I'd like to remind everybody that there's nothing we can do until we disband the Bermuda Triangle of Injustice, which is absolutely a conflict of interest and a violation of our civil rights, which is when our district attorney, Summer Steffen, who's married to federal judge Dana Sabrow and has sister city attorney Raina Steffen in charge of all outcomes in all courts, including with this ordinance. If we are to separate church and state and make this a clear definition between what happens from the federal level and the state level and the city and county level, we cannot have a husband and wife overseeing every aspect of this. It can't happen. In fact, Summer Stefan used our tax dollars to invite several thousand Afghani refugees who are unvetted and undocumented to take the place of those who her federal judge husband with ICE removed our Latino neighbors to make room for these Afghani refugees. There were 1,600 that had direct ties to terrorist groups.
Thank you. I'd like to recall Cesar Javier and Aline Bratton.
Cesar and Purita, we love this region. I had my first day as an immigrant here, and I was awed by its physical, psychological, social, everything. And we said, by choice, we will live here. And suddenly, after discovering, through continuous engagement with the city, with the county, with the air pollution control districts, this is all about rules or rule making, rule implementing. No one is above the law or even below the law. And no one should be loyal to an individual or group or party, but loyal to our Constitution. As elders, please, let's work together and do something right. What have we done? We are suffering. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, Board of Supervisors. My name is Elen Bratton. I am a proud SEIU member and a 26-year vet of the County of San Diego. I'm also a 33-year resident in City Heights, California, where they have a target on our immigrant population's back, and dozens of people that speak all different kind of languages and represent all different kind of cultures. Meat is now being a target because of their race. Immigrants of all status need to be protected on American soil. It is obvious that attacks to this community are based on race and language and nothing to do with what being a criminal at all, or even a worse criminal. We ask the Board of Supervisors to approve the introduction of clear ordinance that protects our community and workers who serve them. Federal agents should not be able to go out without showing their ID, saying who they are and what they're for, and having a valid warrant. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Rima, that concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from any of my colleagues? Happy to make a motion to the second reading.
I'll second.
Okay, a second from Chair Pro Tem Aguirre.
I have some comments too.
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Please share.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Today marks an important step forward as we consider the first reading of the CLEAR ordinance. When this board first directed staff to draft this ordinance, we did so with intention and purpose to ensure that every county facility remains a place where residents can access services without fear, intimidation, or discrimination. I also want to acknowledge the strong leadership shown by the City of San Diego, whose due process and safety ordinance laid important groundwork and affirmed that our region is moving together towards stronger civil liberties protections. I want to reaffirm my deep commitment and this county's to the communities named throughout the ordinance, our immigrant and mixed status families, people seeking reproductive or gender affirming health care, individuals living with disabilities, and anyone whose identity, expression, or beliefs have historically made them vulnerable to surveillance, harassment, or criminalization. This ordinance moves us closer to a county where safety, dignity, and civil rights are not ideals on paper, but protection people can feel in every county building they walk into. So today is just the beginning of that commitment, and I am ready to see it through. Thank you, Chair, for your leadership.
Thank you so much. Supervisor Monica Montgomery-Stepp.
Thank you so much. Just want to do like a fact check on where we are on this federal administration through ICE and other federal enforcement agencies have obviously and very clearly attacked members of our community who are most vulnerable. Just through July of this year, ICE has arrested more than triple the number of people as all of 2024. over 1,900 individuals arrested compared to last year's 603. I think the most important thing here is the majority of people arrested, over 1,000 individuals, have no criminal record at all. And this is nearly a 7-fold increase from the previous year. So this ordinance demonstrates our commitment to uphold the rights of all individuals in our community, regardless of immigration status, gender identity or expression, reproductive health care history, disability status, or political or religious beliefs. I'm happy to support it, and thank you again for bringing it forward.
Thank you so much. And that is very, very, very sad. Very, very sad. So we have got a motion on the floor and a second. If seeing no further request to comment, please vote.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes with Supervisor Anderson and Supervisor Desmond voting no, all other supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, thank you. So I'm fielding various requests from various colleagues to do things in various orders. So I am trying to be accommodating here. I have a request for item 24 to go earlier and a request for other items to go later. So we'll take item 24 now, and then we can move on from that, okay? So is the team ready? Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Lawson-Remer and members of the board. Today's item focuses on maximizing the resources and the potential of San Pasqual Academy. For nearly 25 years, the San Pasqual Academy and the surrounding 238 acres have provided housing, education, life skills, and other benefits for youth in care. Recent legislation reforms reflect progress toward family-based care, offering an opportunity to reassess and maximize how San Pasqual Academy and its resources can best serve youth and families moving forward. Here with me to present is Alfredo Guardado, Director of the Child and Family Wellbeing.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez. San Pasqual Academy opened its doors in 2001, representing one of the most innovative child welfare and education partnerships in the nation. Over the years, state and federal reforms, including the Continuum of Care Reform and the Family First Prevention Services Act, have redefined how we serve youth in care. These reforms place greater emphasis on prevention, family reunification, and community-based services, which has led to a steady reduction in residential placements statewide. In 2022, the board approved actions to transform San Pasqual Academy into a continuum of care multi-purpose campus to better align with evolving needs and mandates. This included community engagement to co-design a future that would include a short-term residential therapeutic program, foster family agency, and transitional housing programs. As the continuum of care landscape evolves with shifting priorities and funding considerations, the changing needs of today's youth require ongoing refinement and flexibility. With a declining number of youth that require increasingly tailored programs to address their needs, the services and use of San Pasqual Academy must continue to adapt. 2025 provides an opportunity to reassess San Pasqual Academy and re-engage community stakeholders to co-create a shared vision for its future use. As of fiscal year 24-25, among the 555 eligible youth, almost 70% found placement with resource families, including kin, guardians, foster parents, or foster family agency homes, reflecting continued progress towards family-based care. Meanwhile, 95 youth presenting with higher level needs were served in specialized settings outside of San Pascual Academy. During that same period, 49 youth were placed at San Pascual Academy compared to nearly 200 at its peak in fiscal year 2009-2010. This reflects changing legislation, eligibility criteria, and the needs of the youth. San Pascual's original design was innovative and met the needs of youth during that time. As youth needs evolve, there's an opportunity to better support complex behavioral and therapeutic needs. As we explore how to better leverage the resources of San Pascual Academy, it is important to recognize the current limitations tied to evolving state licensing and funding frameworks. Building on San Pascual Academy's innovative intent and design, the county continues to advance an evolving, evidence-based, and community-driven approach for youth. Looking ahead, we remain committed to ensuring San Pascual Academy continues to benefit youth and families through sustainable, community-aligned programs. Efforts moving forward include identifying suitable youth while recognizing how needs and systems have evolved over time. As we continue this work, our next step is to bring together who can help co-shape the future of San Pascual Academy. This includes stakeholders, subject matter experts, as well as dedicated community members. We will engage current and former foster youth, education and community organizations, the Child and Family Strengthening Advisory Board, juvenile court partners, and child and family well-being staff who have stood alongside San Pascual Academy since its inception. Through this collaborative process, we will explore opportunities that maximize the campus's full potential, whether as a hub for youth services, workforce training, intergenerational programming, or other community-centered uses. This is about honoring a legacy while ensuring sustainable and equitable services for youth. Staff recommend that the board direct the Chief Administrative Officer or designee to conduct a comprehensive stakeholder engagement process to shape San Pascual Academy future use. Within 180 days, we will return to the board with clear, data-informed recommendations that ensure the campus benefits individuals and families across San Diego County. These recommendations will focus on fiscal responsibility, align with county priorities, and have measurable community impact. Thank you for the opportunity to present. This concludes our presentation, and we are available for any questions.
Supervisor Desmond, do you have a question before we move to public comment? Okay, we'll go ahead and move to public comment, and then we'll have more questions.
Thank you, Chair Lawson-Remer. We have 13 requests to speak on this item, 4 in person and 9 requesting to speak by phone. Also note for the record that we received 2 e-comments, 1 in support and 1 neutral. For any individuals that requested to speak on item 24 by phone, please dial into the conference line using the instructions that were provided to you. We'll begin with the in-person speakers. I'd like to invite forward Cesar Javier, Mark Burrows, allegedly Audra, and Brendan Lulofs. If I've called your name, please come forward. You'll have 1 minute to address the board. I'll ask you to begin by stating your name for the audio record.
Thank you, Cesar and Purita. This is an excellent venue for urban planners, academics, professionals, because this is a kind of building a community as seen in the visual aid, children, young and old, the backbone of our society. Dear sirs, ma'am, this is where we have to pour our 10 fingers, please, because this is a real estate with people representing San Diegans. Ma'am Steve, supposed to be the chairman of the first 5, now taken over by Madam River. What happened? I ask you in the Sandag, what will you teach of these children? Thank you, Uncle Sam.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yes, hello. My name is Mark Burrows. I'm the Superintendent and Principal of San Pasqual Union School District, and I'm here in support of item 24. It's a crucial reevaluation of San Pasqual Academy. As Alfredo pointed out, it was an innovative program when it was created, but as I mentioned when I came to the board last time, it is not serving the needs, educational needs of the middle school students that are placed there. When it was transferred into a short-term residential treatment program, we are bringing in students from across the state with extremely high needs, but again, with no programming in place for their middle school. It's having a devastating effect on these students who are going weeks, sometimes months, without education upon their transfer, and the cost of these students to educate them in other parts of the county is detrimental to our school district. So I encourage you to move forward with the reevaluation, but more immediately look at stopping the placement of middle school students at the academy until their educational needs can be properly addressed.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
How many families have you reunified? Any? Probably not. It's interesting because this is another sexual abuse place where county workers abuse children. It's interesting, and then we never talk about it, right? But we just brush it over like we're helping foster. Yes, I'm looking at you, Tara.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But when are we going to address that? Because it seems to be a systemic thing where sexual abuse is just put under the rug. Do we need to identify as illegal aliens and then you'll give a shit? I'm just curious. Because how are you equipped to make any decisions when you bury sexual abuse? And you have facilities like this and the Polinsky Center that you sit and you virtue signal.
Okay, Audra, this is your first official warning.
Yes.
Please look at us.
I was, and my eye is lazy today.
We're looking there.
Oh, who was I looking at?
That's your first warning.
It is, okay. Shoot. Well, then can you tell Alfredo to do something about hiding sexual abuse and ask him and Kimberly to, do something? But all we need to do is just rename child and family well-being, right? Because that's how we transform it once that stuff gets exposed.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the individuals that requested to speak by phone. We'll start with our first caller.
All abold. It seems you want to rely more on home-based health care for foster kids like Arabella McCormick, who was starved, beaten, and tackled roughly by her Border Patrol father and church worker mom. Child Welfare and Child Protective Services needs a personnel audit by an independent auditor. The evidence of what happens in home-based placement is there. Between that and the Polinsky Center abuses, you need to restore trust in your handling of foster kids before you place them with anyone but their family. Sounds like to me like you'd rather have another audit, grand jury indictment, or investigation rather than take all our good advice. On this Thanksgiving holiday, please reflect and be grateful. You probably should interview the foster kids separately from the service providers and other stakeholders.
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Swallow here. Yeah, Tara, you have the audacity to want to dictate to people where they can look, yet you continue to behave disgusting while the public speaks. Walk your talk. Anyways, before we talk about maximizing resources at San Pasqual, let's talk about what's really happening. Child Welfare Services, CPS, have repeatedly failed to protect kids, including children like Arabella McCormick, who starved. She was starved, beaten, and abused by her Border Patrol father and her mother, a church worker at the Rock Church. That church needs to be called out for its role in enabling this harm. It's not enough to tinker with programs or add committees. These agencies need a thorough, independent audit. And the kids, the children, have to be interviewed, as Paul mentioned, separately from service providers so their voices are truly heard, not filtered through a system that has repeatedly failed them. But the silver lining is that the truth is coming out, the failures.
Move to the next caller.
Good morning. My name is Becky Rapp, and as you discuss the future of San Pasquale Academy and the evolving needs of youth in our care, you can't ignore a critical issue underlining the trends we're seeing. The staff report notes that today's foster youth are entering the system with more severe behavioral and mental health needs than ever before, requiring more intensive and specialized services. We have to ask ourselves, why? What has changed in the environment our youth are growing up in? According to psychiatrist Dr. Amen, one major factor is the dramatic rise in exposure to high-potency marijuana products. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention warns that today's concentrates, dabs, waxes, oils, and vapes can contain THC levels exceeding 90%. According to the CDC, THC directly affects the parts of the brain responsible for attention, memory, learning, emotional regulation, and decision-making. And adolescents who use...
Thank you. We'll hear from the next caller.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. This is Ellen Nash, Chair of the Black American Policy Association Foundation, and also a former foster mother. I am definitely in support of this particular initiative to reimagine foster care, particularly in relationship to the San Pasquale Academy. I would like to commend what the county is doing, particularly Alfredo and the Child Strengthening Initiative and Program under Ebony Shelton, the Chief Administrative Officer's direction. I believe the stakeholder engagement is timely and needed and necessary. Yes, there are some issues of safety around our children, particularly foster children, that need to be addressed. But also we have to consider the other issues and factors around foster care, particularly as it relates to.
Thank you. We'll now hear from the final caller.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Radigan. I'm here today as the statewide policy manager at California Youth Connection, or CYC. CYC stands ready to support a youth-centered and trauma-informed, culturally responsive process. I'd like to speak on some of the history. The sudden closure of San Pasquale Academy was announced 4 years ago on the news with no warning or concern for the young people who live there, and it did cause real trauma. In response, alumni, current and former foster youth, and other lived experts led the initiative to file the lawsuit to stop that closure. And we appreciate the board's support. What followed also matters. Those same youth leaders were involved in many work groups, countless hours of stakeholder meetings. We submitted a lot of thoughtful recommendations that unfortunately were not implemented. We were banned from the campus and labeled as a safety concern. And so I want to be very clear, it's not enough to just invite youth voice to share input. We'd like to be consulted and compensated.
Thank you. And Chair Lawson-Remer, that concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you all very much. Supervisor Desmond.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it. This item here is near and dear to my heart, San Pasquale Academy. I'm not sure what's in my district, or we share it, or its property is there. There's a few of us that share this.
And it was mine.
It's a biggie. We took it from you?
Yeah.
You let it go? No. Anyway. Okay, good. Well, it's a great facility, and having worked with Supervisors Cox on this item previously, I want to thank staff for all your hard work on this item and conducting the community engagement. That's what we absolutely have to do. Last time we did something with San Pasquale, it was during COVID. It wasn't well received, primarily because we hadn't done the outreach that we was necessary. I know we tried, but we needed more. So this year marks the 25th year of San Pasquale Academy, and I do want to say Supervisor Cox and Supervisor Roberts actually are the ones that came up with this in the early part of the 2000s, and it's a fantastic idea and a great facility. But the Academy has served over 1,000 youth and has consistently achieved a graduation rate of 97%. And that's higher than most of our public schools. So San Pasquale, it's a safe haven for youth and our foster care system. And I'm very grateful to both staff and the community for all the work during these past 25 years. The child welfare landscape has changed significantly in recent years. And so now this very, very large property is underutilized. I'm supportive of the item. I just want to emphasize the importance of the community outreach, especially to organizations like the Friends of San Pasquale, the school district, who we just heard from their superintendent. There's a lot of opportunity with this property. But that being said, it's critical that this property continues to serve foster youth first and foremost. That still needs to be our top priority. However, there are other opportunities and necessities in the county where we need services and facilities, and I think we should be looking at this facility just to see what can be compatible while still focusing and protecting the foster youth. So while we're keeping the foster youth housed on the property, if we can find compatible uses to make the best use of its property and its facilities, that I think is going to be a big win for our region. And do we need a motion? I'll go ahead and move. Or is this just a return, or is it we need a motion on this one? I'll move to approve. Okay.
We do need a motion.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have a motion.
Yeah, thank you very much for outworking
Thank you.
all the.
Supervisor Geary.
Thank you, and I'm happy to second. San Pasquale Academy has stood as a place where foster youth can find stability, connection, and a sense of belonging. Today's item allows us to continue that commitment by bringing together current and former foster youth, our education and court partners, and community organizations to thoughtfully shape a future for the Academy that reflects the needs and strengths of the young people it serves. As we engage in this process, I believe we also have an opportunity to look more broadly at how the Academy's unique setting, its residential environment, therapeutic supports, and sense of community might help fill gaps for youth whose needs aren't fully met by our existing systems. While our primary focus has been foster youth, I am equally interested in exploring whether San Pasquale can also offer a short-term, healing-centered option for girls and gender-expansive youth who might be exiting detention or leaving in unstable or unsafe environments that place them at risk of homelessness, exploitation, or reoffending. These are young people who often need stability, safety, and time to heal, needs that, if met early, can prevent deeper system involvement. I want to acknowledge and thank our partners on probation, CFWB, and the Public Defender's Office, and obviously our staff. Their perspectives and daily work with young people experiencing instability or system involvement and their commitment to youth empowerment and well-being will be invaluable as we consider what is possible for this campus in the future. I'm proud to support this item, and I look forward to the report back as we reimagine what the Academy can continue, how the Academy can continue serving our foster and dual status youth while also exploring ways to expand opportunity, safety, and hope for those who need it most. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank the team for a very considered plan to do the kind of outreach that we need. And I want to echo Supervisor Desmond's comments that the last time we tried to do this, it was hard. It was during COVID, and I think we are better set up. Very much hopeful we can take into account in a really centered way the viewpoints and needs of the young people that are currently there. So thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Please go ahead and vote.
Chair Lawson-Remer, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Okay, thank you very much. So kind of preview for everyone the remainder of the day. We're going to take a lunch. It'll be a little bit of a longer lunch. We'll be back at 1:30. At that time, we'll have a time certain for the item at 1:30. the explore savings, revenue enhancements, and contracted service optimization. That's item 21 from D1 and D2. That will be immediately after lunch. And then we will follow through. We'll do the transparency item, item 22, then item 23, then item 25. Then we will take closed session comments, and we will move through and do closed session today. And then we'll be prepared for our land use workshop tomorrow. So that's the plan. See you guys in about 75 minutes. Thanks.
Board is in recess until 1:30 p.m.